LHSAA Network Game of the Week. It was a dark and stormy night in East Baton Rouge Parish as the state capitol looms high over the Mississippi. Welcome into Memorial Stadium for tonight's spooky showdown between the U-High Cubs and the Chargers of Madison Prep. Hi everybody, alongside Clark Kent, aka Derry Beckwith, I'm Ace Ventura. Derry, both these teams come in riding a lot of momentum. The Lab School's rated number 2 in the latest power rankings. Madison Prep has won 5 in a row. They're both undefeated in league play, so a district title's on the line.
Both teams are peaking at the right time heading into the playoffs. Specifically for U-High, they're led by senior quarterback Emil Picarella. He does a great job of distributing the ball amongst all his receivers. And Madison Prep had a tough schedule. They played an out-of-district schedule with a lot of 5A teams, but it's prepared them for this moment to compete for another district title.
Picarella, a senior, leads the attack for U-High. Pretty talented, second year as a starter for him. He's got a bevy of weapons on the outside, led by Zay Martin at wideout.
He does a great job of scanning the football field, reading all of the coverages. There's nothing he hasn't seen in his 4-year career. Emil Picarella is a great quarterback. It's going to make somebody happy on the next level.
Scores on the keeper last week against Parkview. How about the home team, Madison Prep? They're led by another senior in Tylen Johnson, who's been a starter for 4 years.
We're in for a treat tonight. 2 senior quarterbacks who have a lot of experience, and Tylen Johnson gets the job done. He has a wonderful offensive lineman that he can throw the ball behind and have a great running game. So I expect him to come out tonight and try to be physical and establish his running attack.
Senior attack, the rusher Alfred McKnight paces the offense. We've got a great game lined up for you here at Memorial Stadium. It looks like the U-High Cubs will kick off to the home team, Madison Prep. Prep under Coach Landry Williams comes in, averaging 42 points a night. They've scored 50 points in 4 of their last 5 games. Kicking off for the Cubs will be Mason Melanson. We're soon to be joined by the 3rd member of our crew, Steve Schneider. Our kickoff is away on Halloween night. Looking to pick this one up right around the 10-yard line. U-High in hot pursuit. And a big tackle made by Mark Acosta on special teams. Let's throw it down to the field where it's raining just a touch with our sideline guy, Steve Schneider.
Well, guys, I'm certainly privileged to join the pet detective and Mr. Kryptonite up in the booth. No, I'm not Freddie Freeman, and I'm not Freddy Krueger. But we are here to tell you I should have probably worn a toga and a towel. It is steamy down here like you're in a sauna. After skeleton bone dry weather for weeks, we got a deluge, and it is going to be hard not to sweat. Back up to you.
Yeah, I definitely think the weather is going to be an issue in tonight's game with the misting that we've had earlier. We might be able to slow down the passing attack of both these teams. Maybe they run the rock a little bit more. First play from scrimmage for Madison Prep, and that'll be a stop up the middle. Tylen Johnson, great numbers, 89 of 150 on the year for 59%, 1,700 yards and 20 touchdowns. Johnson has also rushed for 4 touchdowns and over 300 yards.
Yeah, Tylen Johnson, there's no blitz, there's no coverage that he hasn't seen. Anytime you're a 4-year starter, you've seen everything that you can possibly see. And I think that's why Madison Prep is in the position that they are in now.
2nd and long coming up for the Chargers. Following the blockers over the 20-yard line, and eventually the scrum brings him down. Traven Hayes and Alfred McKnight have primarily run the rock. Here's your Madison Prep offense, brought to you by Farm Bureau. One of the biggest offensive lines in the state. Johnson at quarterback, and then Blunt, Sanders, Johnson, and Robinson on the outside. We talked about the guys for the offensive line for Madison Prep. They average per man 6'2½", 307 pounds. Going to be tough to push them around tonight, but U-High could be up for the task.
And it's simple. You want to establish your run game. Anytime that you're Madison Prep, you have that size on the offensive lineman, you want to establish a line of scrimmage.
Now 3rd and 4 from the 21. Almost picked off just over the hands of Alec Haynes, the star linebacker for U-High. 4th down coming up.
That time, Alec Haynes does a great job of dropping the coverage, putting his hands up, getting a deflection, and getting his UI defense off the field. We had a pleasure of watching Alec Haynes last week against Parkview. It seemed like the guy made every tackle from the linebacker position. He does a great job of filling the gaps, running sideline to sideline. He's a great communicator on this defense side of the ball for UI as well, playing that middle linebacker position.
Zay Martin back deep to receive the punt. He's got great numbers this year, averaging better than 17 yards a return. Looks like Andre Gibson back deep to punt. Here comes the pressure. He will get it away, but they run into Gibson. And Martin muffs the punt inside the 40. Very slow to get up is Gibson for Madison Prep at the other end of the field. Terry, on special teams, the first play that you're going to see in the game, you just can't run into the kicker. Maybe an issue there.
Yeah, you definitely want to be careful when you're trying to go after the ball and get a block. Don't know if they called running to the punter or roughing the kicker. They may have tipped the ball, so anytime if you tip the football, they're not going to call it. So you see right here, you have prize of pressure. They tip the ball. Anytime you tip the ball, you run to the punter. It's not going to be a flag. So great job by the referee crew to see that.
That was Luke Ewing, the senior for U High. Now the offense for the Cubs out on the field. They'll take over at the 36-yard line. U High averaging 35 points per game. They'll blast it up the middle. Sage Ingram, their starting running back. Emil Picarella, 55 of 96 for over 800 yards and 17 touchdowns, Derry. He doesn't have the most yards, but 17 touchdowns and only 2 picks. He's very efficient.
You can see tonight, Gary, he doesn't get rattled at all. No matter the situation, no matter the score of the game, no matter what point in the game, he always stays cool, calm, and collected, and that's what you want from the quarterback position.
Corbin Odell in at running back, a 5'10 sophomore. Play action to him. Picarella's pass is tipped, and nice move to knock it away by Charles Musgrove, the wide receiver. Starting offense for the Cubs, Picarella at quarterback, Ingram, Martin, and Musgrove, 3 of your main offensive targets. Ethan Kimmey, a sophomore, typically a tight end. He's coming in and playing in advance of Charlie Pettit. And then the offensive line, very good for the Cubs. They have 3 seniors up the middle in Hebert, Jones, and Brookshire, who are all about 260 or better. Third down and 7, ball on the 40. Now in the backfield, Sage Ingram, and he's in motion. Flags fly. That'll back him up 5 yards.
And Gary, back to that previous play, Madison Prep did a great job of tipping the ball in the air. That play made by Charles Musgrove, the receiver from U High, was a big play. That could be a turning point in the game because if he didn't knock that ball down, it was a headsy play. That could have been an interception going Madison Prep's way.
So the penalty against the Cubs, their offense came in averaging 35 points a game, Derry, and that includes a 3-0 win over Woodlawn in the opener. They've outscored their competition in the last 3 games, 160-13.
Well, they're definitely clicking at the right moment. At one point in the season, people didn't think this UI team was as good as they are, but these past few weeks, they showed that they are the dominant program that they've been in the past.
Picarella from the pocket. Little arrow route. Here's Ingram. Ingram does not catch a lot of passes on the year. He just had 2 coming in. Good defensive showing by Madison Prep out on the flat to force 4th down.
Great job that time by this Madison Prep defense, playing with a lot of energy, playing with a lot of spunk on the defense side of the ball. You see a lot of guys flying around, having fun, having a good time. And that time, making a play in the open field on a shifty running back, outstanding play that time from this Madison Prep defense.
Mason Melanson will punt, and back to return it is the electric junior receiver, Keon Robinson. He returned a punt for a touchdown already this year. Catches it, doesn't call for the fair catch, and is brought down for no gain. Terry, let's take a look at our keys to the game for tonight. We'll start with U High.
For U High, you want to reduce the penalties. Last week, they had a lot of penalties against Parkview Baptist, a lot of false start holding calls, so they want to limit that. And you want to come out tonight and be the hammer. When I mean be the hammer, obviously you expected to win this football game, and you could come out and take it lightly. If you take it lightly, you'll end up being the nail. You want to be the hammer to put a stamp on this game and start off quickly. And for Madison Prep, control the line of scrimmage. You have a size advantage on their offensive lineman, and take risks. Don't be afraid to throw the football down the field. Play to win the football game and see if you can put yourself in a position to bring home a district title.
5 wide, but it's a designed running play for Johnson. He can't get past the line of scrimmage. Nice tackle on the previous punt return by Andre Reyes, the senior defensive lineman for the Cubbies. Starting lineup for U High after we take a look at this replay.
Right here, try to get some little quarterback power off the play. They go empty, spread the defense out, and make sure you can pop a run. Great job that time by the UI defense of reading their quarterback power.
Johnson with that little pitch, fumbled in the backfield. They're not going to make much hay off of that one. Run by Johnson. The defense brought to you by Farm Bureau. Kaysen Hill, Barton Phillips, and Mark Acosta on the defensive line. They all have 2 or more sacks apiece in the backfield. Luke Ewing and Ben Picarella pretty good at the safety position. And then up the middle, Alec Haynes and Lane Mixon are tough to beat at the linebacker spot.
We get a lot of talk about Alex Haynes, the linebacker position, but also the strong safety James Upton had a huge game last week against Parkview. Expect him to do a lot of blitzing when he comes close to the line of scrimmage tonight.
Now 3rd and 9, ball on the 26. Johnson surveys the field. Here's a little pressure. Throws over one level of defense, and it's in and out of the hands of Amarin Sanders. Sanders, the junior wideout, has 3 touchdown catches on the year, but in coverage can't get his hands on it.
Right there, keeps his eyes down the field, rolls out, sees the receiver, delivers the football, but great play that time by Ethan Kimmy. That wide receiver converted, playing defense tonight. Big, tall wide receiver. They put him at the safety position to stop big plays like that. Great job by Ethan Kimmy getting his hands in that play and deflecting the football.
Several players playing both ways in tonight's matchup. Back deep for the Cubs, Zay Martin again. So both teams coming up empty on their initial possessions. Madison Prep went 3 and out here. Looking to punt this one away to Martin. Martin catches it at the 46, and he will be brought down without much of a tackle. Derry Madison Prep's defense has given up 21 points a contest, but over this current 5-game win streak, that number drops to just 12. Coach Williams' team shut out Glen Oaks and Collegiate in district play. They're undefeated in league play. I mean, they've got a big task tonight, though, in U-High. And that's what you want to see from your defense. You want to see improvement. I obviously gave up a lot of points at the beginning of the year. At the end of the year, if you're still giving up the same amount of points that you did at the beginning of the year, it's not a good thing. So you see that number come down, that they're allowing less points. That shows that this defense is disciplined, and they're putting the work in every single week to improve. Emil Picarello. Max protect on the line. They've got 6 in the box. Trying to surge forward is Sage Ingram for a couple of yards. Ingram has 400 yards rushing on the year, but I think he just fumbled for the 2nd time this year. We'll see what the officials say. Madison Prep wants the ball. The one thing that U-High doesn't do is turn the ball over. They are +7 in turnover margin. Just 4 fumbles total.
And right here, U-High goes to the heavy set, gives the ball to Sage Ingram. Does a good job of picking up positive yards. Looks like he was down on that play. But again, great job again by this Madison Prep defense, flying to the football and making a tackle.
2nd and 6, ball right on midfield. Here's Ingram off the right side. He'll be brought down shy of the 1st down marker. Tackle made by Jeremiah Anderson.
So right here early in this game, U-High's trying to establish the run game. A little power play right there. They lead the H-back around. Ingram follows his block, picks up positive yards. But again, outstanding tackle that time by Jeremiah Anderson. It was just him and Ingram on an island. So for him to make tackle like that in the space, that's a great job and great technique that time by Jeremiah Anderson.
Now 3rd and a long 3 coming up for the Cubs. Ball on the 47-yard line. Picarella trying to move the chains here. Completes 59% of his passes. This one intended for Charlie Pettit. Pettit up to the line, maybe a yard short. 4th down coming up. Pettit was not able to get a full head of steam on that one. Here's the replay.
That time they tried to do a rollout, throw a backside screen to Charlie Pettit. See the pursuit from this Madison Prep defense. U-High tried to get them committed one way. They're able to stick their feet in the ground, go back in the opposite direction, and make a play. So anytime you have a fast defense, you want to do a lot of misdirection, but great job that time of Madison Prep reading that play and making a tackle.
Junior linebacker Cannon Walker of Madison Prep stopped them 1 yard short of a 1st down. So both teams poised to trade 2 punts to start our ball game as the rain falls here in Baton Rouge. It's a fake. Whistles blow, though. I like how aggressive U-High is on that play.
Bringing old bags out like Les Miles. You never know when he was going to fake it or go for it.
Maybe a neutral zone infraction. Will be interesting to see, but Coach Andy Martin arguing that that is against Madison Prep. Well, now you're punting for sure.
Yeah, you have to, and obviously I do like the call. Anytime a championship is on the line, you want to take risks and do things to put your team in a position to win. Right there, look like Sage Ingram with the false start.
Lamar Brown, the junior, not set at right tackle. Keon Robinson back to receive his second punt of the night. It's another fake, and the whistles blow again. How aggressive is U-High trying to get an early lead? They've attempted 2 fake punts. We'll see who the flag's on this time.
Right there, U-High, they see something from this punt return team that makes them think they can run a fake and pick up a first down. And that time, Madison Prep was in the neutral zone, and so now it looks like U-High is bringing their offense back on the field for the 4th and short situation.
So it again, after trading 5-yard penalties, now 4th and 1. They'll go for it from midfield. This one's a keeper. Alec Haynes, he's across and has green grass in front of him. Haynes down the far sideline, knocked out just shy of the end zone. Haynes, the big man, comes through.
That time they do a wildcat or maybe wild cub, put Alec Haynes in the backfield. The senior middle linebacker, who's outstanding linebacker, also run the football. Garrett, last week I saw him warming up the wide receivers for U-High, so that tells you the athletic ability that this guy has.
Haynes has over 50 tackles on the season. He remains in on this offensive package. Picarella is split out wide at the top of your screen. Here's Haynes following a blocker. He powers into the end zone. Touchdown, U-High. The senior linebacker on offense gives U-High the early lead, 6-0.
If it's not broke, don't fix it. They go right back to Alec Haynes, getting that power set, runs downhill, keeps his shoulder square to the line of scrimmage, and was able to get in the end zone. And for Madison Prep, you don't want to make that mistake on special teams by putting yourself in a position where U-High can go down and score. So I think that's something that we have to get corrected.
2-point conversion for U-High. Pass knocked away. That one's actually fumbled into the end zone, if they call that a catch, and recovered by Madison Prep. The 2-point conversion is no good. Derry, we'll probably see quite a few 2-point conversions tonight as the touchdowns come. Don't miss the LHSAA Network Game of the Week, Week 10, as we head out to Zachary for the Bears and the Broncos Thursday night, November 7th at 7 p.m. Join us on what should be an awesome end to the district rivalry. And, of course, we had an awesome game here last year. Daniel Beal, Trades Green, all the guys. Should be another fantastic matchup. We hope you'll join us. You know, we were talking about U-High being a little aggressive, but, you know, the ball was at midfield, and their defense had just stonewalled Madison Prep for 2 positions. Was it really that aggressive?
It was. I think they was going to fake the ball twice. I was thinking the first time had a penalty on their end, and then they went back again and tried to run another fake, and Madison Prep obviously lined up in the neutral zone. So it's something that they see from this Madison Prep punt return team that thinks they can pick up positive yards on the punt. But obviously Madison Prep has to clear that out, respond quickly on the offensive side of the ball, and see if they get something going.
Kickoff is away, rolling on the wet grass here at Memorial, picked up at the 20-yard line, looking to turn the corner for the Chargers, cutting it back inside and up to midfield.
Right, Javen Holmes does a good job. Low kick, balls on the ground, picks it up, doesn't give up on the play, keeps his eyes down the field, follows his blockers, breaks a couple tackles, cuts against the grain, and picks up great yards for this kickoff team.
Let's go down to the sideline for an update from Steve.
Guys, Keelan Moses is probably the biggest star U-High has, and he's not playing right now. He's been injured. Haynes moved from defensive back to linebacker and has filled that void amazingly. And here we saw he also filled Moses' role in offense, making the big play to get him in scoring position and then to get the touchdown. That's been a huge shift that Andy Martin has done to keep this team competitive and winning this far in the season.
Yeah, that's a great point. You know, tough to lose a game or a playmaker like Keelan Moses. I mean, that guy was returning kickoffs, punts, scoring on offense, making tons of tackles behind the line on defense. Tough to have a guy of his caliber go down.
And like Steve said, they didn't get away from the identity that's replace players. They stuck with the game plan, and Alex Haynes done a good job on the offensive side of the football, offensive side running the football.
2nd and 4 from the 45-yard line. They'll try Alfred McKnight again. Who made the tackle? Guess who? Alec Haynes. 6'2", 225. He's dialed in the first quarter.
And as you can see right here, one thing he does as a linebacker, he's extremely patient, Garrett. And then once he sees that open hole, he fills it. Especially in today's game against the RPOs, you have to be really patient. He does a great job of doing that. Anytime you have a DB that was a former DB converted to linebacker, lets you know his athletic ability and his ability to read, run, and react.
Chargers need 2 yards to move the chains. Roll out by Johnson. Trying to turn the corner. We'll see if the spot is enough. He's brought down hard by the Cubs. And that again is Luke Ewing. Johnson. Let's take a closer look here.
Right here, they fake the bootleg, try to get Tylen Johnson on the edge one-on-one. But Luke Ewing does a great job of filling the alley, coming downhill, and making a great tackle on a great athlete.
We'll step aside for a quick break. We'll be back with more on the LHSAA Network Game of the Week.
Our families have gathered together to share with each other our challenges and hopes, to take this light we've been gifted and paint a brighter future for the next generation. The seeds we plant today are the bounty we harvest tomorrow. As farmers, we know that together we're stronger than we could ever be apart. We're the Louisiana Farm Bureau, and we're the voice of Louisiana agriculture.
If you want to break the rock, you need to make yourself indestructible. If you want to play between the hedges, you need to work out there, up there, down there, everywhere. If you want to reach the win bar, you need to lose sleep, lose count. You need to play every game like you got nothing to lose.
For over 100.
A spooky evening on tap here at Memorial Stadium in Baton Rouge. Happy Halloween to wherever our broadcasts find you. Garrett Wolver, Gary Beckwith, and Steve Schneider. An early lead for U-High, the visiting team, against Madison Prep. Right now, the Chargers have the ball. We're hoping that Tylen Johnson can stay in the ballgame after being brought down hard by Luke Ewing.
Hopefully he is able to come back in the football game. Obviously, we have your full roster. Everybody's healthy. You want to see a great football game. So hopefully, Tylen Johnson is okay and he's able to come back in his game.
Number 2, Cavalli Williams in the ballgame for Madison Prep. And at quarterback, Landon Johnson. First snap to him is fumbled. He can't hold on to it. Finally has to get his arms on it. It's like the ball's got Crisco on it or something. Not a good first possession. That was on 4th down. They needed a yard, Derry.
It was a bad exchange. Anytime your starting quarterback goes out and you put a backup in, he doesn't have a lot of reps with the starting center. So the mesh point can be a little bit off. That time the mesh point was off. Horrible fumble at this position at this point in the game and give U-High's offense a great field position.
So with Johnson out, the ball's turned over on downs, and U-High's offense will trot back onto the field. Talk about the consistency of the Cubs. They have made the state semifinals in the playoffs 12 years running.
A dominant program in the Baton Rouge area, and this is what everybody wants to be like and look up to, and U-High does a great job running a great program.
Ooh, Picarella throws one into the flat, and the big stick comes by Braylon Wilson.
Right here, U-High tries to get the ball in the slot to Zay Martin. Great receiver, but that time Braylon Wilson beats his block, comes down and makes a physical tackle on a wonderful wide receiver in Zay Martin.
6'4", 185 pounds. He's a senior. A loss of 6 on the play. 2nd and 16 coming up for the Cubs. Yeah, the Cubs have made the semis 12 years in a row. They've also won 4 titles over the last 10 seasons. That, I think, his throwing arm got hit on the release, and it looks like Picarella's got a little stinger.
Looks like when his arm was coming forward, the defender from Madison Prep got his hands up, tipped the ball, but looks like his hand, right there, his shoulder got involved by big number 52 coming in. Darius Mack tipping the ball. Madison Prep defense doing an outstanding job, especially on their front four. They're getting pressure without blitzing, getting their hands up, a lot of tip balls. So if I'm Madison Prep defense, I'm really happy on how I'm performing right now.
Ethan Kimmey, the 6'4" sophomore at the bottom of your screen. Picarella looking for a receiver over the middle, in and out of the hands of Kimmey. That'll bring up 4th and long.
Right, Picarella on the rollout. He does a lot of damage on the rollout because he keeps his eyes down the field. Right there, just kind of out the reach of Ethan Kimmey. And right now, Garrett, this UI offense doesn't seem in sync. I think Madison Prep is doing a good job of confusing them with different coverages. They're disguising a lot of coverage on the back end. So right now, I believe Madison Prep is winning the battle defensively against this potent UI offense.
Melanson with the left-footed kick inside the 30, takes a Cub roll inside the 20. Keon Robinson wants no part of that one. And Madison Prep will take over inside their 20. Hey, be sure to download the LHSAA Live mobile app to stay up to date with scores, schedules, news, and more. The LHSAA Live mobile app is your trusted source for all things LHSAA. Available in the App Store and Android app on Google Play. Madison Prep's offense trying to get in gear here. Now their 4th possession, and the bands are heating up. Coach Landry Williams and the Chargers. Good to see Tylen Robinson back in. Here's Alfred McKnight running over the left end. But Johnson trying to get the offense in gear. Well, I tell you what, running over the left side is a pretty good idea. You've got Roderick Walker at 6'2.5", 295. Carnell Smith at 6'2", 325. Those guys can't pave the way. Nobody can. Keep a close eye on 56 and 57. Carnell and Darnell Smith, both 6'2", about 330. Good run by McKnight. Patient there. He gets the first down up the middle.
Outstanding job that time by Alfred McKnight. Didn't hit the hole too hard, but just like a linebacker, when he sees it, he explodes. Right there, great cut, gets upfield, and gets a first down behind this big physical offensive lineman of Madison Prep.
That's a Farm Bureau first down. One of the Chargers lost their helmet. And I don't know if somebody... That looks like 76, the center, Jamiris Allen. He looks to be in obvious pain, and he's heading towards the sideline. The starting sophomore for the Chargers being attended to by the athletic training staff. I don't know if there's something to see on replay there or not. Maybe just a headache came up on him. Tough to lose your starting center here in the first quarter. Maybe we'll get an update on him later in the first half. But a new lineman's going to have to head out for the Chargers.
Looks like he's walking on his own power, so I don't know if something got into his eye. It looks kind of weird. Hopefully he's okay. He's able to come back in this football game.
Looks like Malachi Dunn, number 60, is your new center. And they're looking at 1st and 10, ball on the 34-yard line after that heady run by Alfred McKnight. 6 in the box for the Cubs. Here's McKnight. Runs past the center. Short gain, maybe 3 on the pickup.
I think the game plan for Madison Prep tonight offensively is to control the clock and keep the ball out of UI offense hands.
Second quarter action when we're at 10. U High is up 6-0 on Madison Prep. Chargers have the ball when we return here on a Halloween night at Memorial.
come down to this.
Can they do it?
Oh no, they missed it! Wait a minute. There's a flag on the play.
For over 100 years, our families have gathered together to share with each other our challenges and hopes, to take this light we've been gifted and paint a brighter future for the next generation. The seeds we plant today are the bounty we harvest tomorrow. As farmers, we know that together we're stronger than we could ever be apart. We're the Louisiana Farm Bureau, and we're the voice of Louisiana agriculture.
The start of the second quarter here at Memorial Stadium. Glad you're with us on the LHSAA Network Game of the Week. Madison Prep trailing 6-0 early. Tylen Johnson, who was knocked from the game momentarily, back in on this drive. Another run off the left side, and the speedster takes off. Brandon Blunt. Actually, Jeremiah Anderson in to run now.
And right there, they get off the left side. It looks like Madison Prep took one of the offensive linemen, kind of moved him in the backfield to get an extra blocker. And that time, Jeremiah Anderson ran right behind that left side of the offensive lineman and picked up a big first down.
Little speed burst by Anderson, the 5'8" senior, left end again, and he's knocked out of bounds into his own sideline, and that's got the Chargers pumped up.
So it looks like Madison Prep is putting one of the offensive linemen, number 70, I believe, Aiden Dennett at the H-back position, giving another bigger body and a blocker to run behind. You see him right there, Garrett, at the H-back position, big number 70, Aiden Dennett leading the way for this Chargers rushing attack.
McKnight back in. Here's a little play action caught over the middle. Nice hookup with Keon Robinson, his first catch of the night.
Great RPO action that time by Tylen Johnson. Run the ball, set the pass, bit the defense up when U-High was able to get that slant route to Keon Robinson.
That's definitely somebody they want to keep getting involved. He averages 22 yards per catch. Here's McKnight. They seal the edge. McKnight makes a cut. He's inside the 10, inside the 5, tries to get into the pylon, and he's out at the 1. After further review, a touchdown for Alfred McKnight on a 21-yard run. The official right in front of him did not call it a touchdown. So 6 up on the scoreboard here, and as we mentioned, both these teams like to go for 2. In their last game, Madison Prep was 6 of 7 on 2-point conversions, so they've certainly got a deep playbook for the 2-pointer.
That's a great response from this Madison Prep offense as well. It looks like in the first quarter they were kind of stagnant, could not get anything going. But to open up the second quarter, very physical, running the football.
Flags fly from 3 officials. Adrian Daigle, our head ref, a delay of game called. And that'll back them up, and they will still go for 2. Coming into the game for the Chargers, Cavalli Williams. So an extra point is blocked. First extra point that they've attempted in a couple of games. Great job by the extra special teams of U-High. Here's a closer look at that touchdown run, Derry.
Right here with Alfred McKnight, they run a power. You see the left guard pull around. They just run a power out of the spread. Old school football, but a different version of it. And Alfred McKnight does a great job of finishing the run and gets to the end zone. Obviously, you can see Tylen Johnson, the senior quarterback, is extremely excited. He wants to make sure that he gets a district title on senior night for Madison Prep.
So both teams tied up at 6 apiece as we start the second quarter between these two. Madison Prep, like Derry said, scheduled heavy up front. They took on Dutchtown and Mandeville to start the season. Both those teams made the state semifinals in 5A last year. Coach Williams told us those games were tough on his young defense, but they were worth it, and they are certainly paying dividends now. They're on a 5-game win streak.
Competition only makes you better. Competition only makes you stronger, and competitions put you in a position to be successful. So by scheduling those teams at the beginning of the year, I think Coach Landry wanted to do that. He had a reasoning behind it. Even the fans may have been getting a little disgruntled, like we're losing too many games, but it was a reason why he was doing that. And you see now they're in a position to compete for a championship.
Trial by fire, as they say. The ball has to go 10 yards. It was kind of a skipped kick by Madison Prep, and great field position for the Cubs. Picking that one up on special teams, Barton Phillips, a senior.
Definitely wasn't intentional. I think he just missed the ball. Now, they could have went either way. If it went 10 yards, Madison Prep could have recovered. So heads up play that time by U-High number 37, Barton Phillips.
The U-High Cubs back out on the field. Emil Picarella. Looks like his arm is okay after favoring it a little bit earlier. Big guy back there, 6'2", 205. He can run the rock as well when he needs to. They'll give this one off to Alec Haynes again, and Haynes is off like a man possessed. Corbin Odell, the sophomore back, is in.
And that time they ran on the right side on the big right tackle, Lamar Brown, one of the highest rated offensive linemen in the country. So they're trying to get something going, run to that right side, and do it again right here.
Odell trying to follow a blocker, powers forward up towards the 25-yard line. He's a 5'10", 190-pound sophomore. Actually came in with the most carries on the team with 72 for 346 yards. He's scored 5 times. Ball's up to the 27-yard line.
Corbin Odell is a nice running back, youngster in 10th grade, but runs with extreme power, extreme physicality. So the future for Corbin Odell is extremely bright in this UI program.
Hand off to Odell, tries to get up the middle, and he'll be tackled by Darius Mack. Mack brought him down and got a little help from Jonathan Guyton.
Well, at that time, they got in the football field, and then, like I said, this man, Jonathan Guyton, comes up the field, fills a hole, and gets a nice tackle.
3 carries in a row for Corbin Odell.
And also Darius Mack from his defensive line position did a great job of engaging the offensive lineman, extending his hands and getting off a block.
3rd down and 6 coming up for the Cubs. They'll pop up and look back to Coach Martin on the sideline for the call.
3rd down is usually where they look for Zay Martin as well in that slot position.
Trips to the top of your screen. Picarella biding his time. Now he's got pressure. Steps up, runs into his own man, and he's tackled for a big loss. Jonathan Guyton again. Great coverage in the backfield. That allowed them to get the tackle for loss.
Great job right here. This time, Madison Prep comes with their cross blitz with their inside linebackers. Extreme coverage, great coverage on the back end, and Jonathan Guyton was able to eat from that great coverage on the back end and get a sack.
4th and 17 coming up for the Cubbies. Again, number 42, Mason Melanson, the junior, is out to punt. He averages 29 yards a kick. Nobody back deep for Madison Prep to receive this one. That's a pretty good punt with this wet field. It's going to die inside the 10-yard line. Nice job by Melanson, the junior. So Madison Prep, they are backed up pretty deep in their own territory. For the first time ever, the LHSAA Network brings you a 1-hour football highlight show that covers the entire state of Louisiana, from Bossier to the Bayou. Friday night in the boot, we'll have it all. So make sure and watch each Friday night this fall, starting at 11. Should have fun this week on Friday night in the boot, week 9. District titles will be won. Gatorade baths will be had. Should be a nice spooky weekend for everybody. 1st and 10, ball on the 9-yard line. And the Chargers, who just scored, went pretty much the length of the field. Back out on offense. Handoff again. This time McKnight carries for short gain. And one of the linemen was knocked back a little funny.
Right, again, trying to get Alfred McKnight involved. But Alec Haynes said, look, I had enough of that on the last drive. He comes down, fills the alley, and makes a great tackle.
That was Carnell Smith who had his feet taken out from under him. Smith comes off the field momentarily. Coming on is Aiden Dennett. So that's 2 of their 5 starting offensive linemen out of the game right now, as Malachi Dunn still in at center. Johnson looking at a 2 and 9. McKnight in the backfield was initially contacted by big number 95, LJ Griffin. Slowed down and tackled for a loss. Rain's really picked up a little bit here. We don't need to tell Steve Schneider that.
And this time, you guys doing a better job on this drive of getting off a block. You see the penetration in the backfield. It's all about activity. Anytime you try to stop the run, even if you're not the guy making the tackle, if you're active, shooting the gap, getting in the backfield, you disrupt a lot of things offensively when they're trying to run the football. So great job from the UI defense.
3rd down for the Chargers. They need 7. Johnson splits up the middle, makes a cut. He's got the first down and more. Huge play on 3rd down, deep in their own territory.
Just a veteran savvy move from a senior quarterback. Keeps his eyes down the field, doesn't see anything. The hole opens up, looks like UI's playing too high safety. They bail out. He picks up the first down and keeps his drive going for this offense.
3 down linemen for the Cubs. 1st down. Will Tylen Johnson go to the air? Nope, they'll hand off to McKnight up the middle. Tackle made by the senior Mark Acosta. He's got over 20 tackles and a couple for loss this season.
Good job that time by Mark Acosta getting off a block and making a great play at the line of scrimmage. So I'm pretty sure in between those series, the defensive coaches at UI said, look, guys, you got to do a better job against the run. Play with your hands, play more physical, and be more active. And that's what they're doing right now against this run game.
Jeremiah Anderson in the backfield trying to pick up a block. This one intended out maybe for a Marin Sanders. So incomplete pass, 3rd down and long coming up.
Right here, UI brings a 5 blitz off the edge to try to disrupt this passing game. Obviously, they know they like to roll out Tylen Johnson. So anytime you try to get rid of the quarterback rolling out, what you do, you bring a 5 blitz to the side that he's rolling out to, and that time they were able to come up with a stop.
That pass intended for Calvin Spears. Defensive lineman coming in. 3rd and 10. Can Johnson dial up a little more of that magic? Goes to the air this time. Intended and caught by Landon Johnson. The 2-way player reels it in. 1st down for Madison Prep.
Right here, Tylen Johnson looks off the safety, throws a little seam route to his receiver, Tylen Johnson. Great throw and catch that time. Didn't really get a good look to see if he got his feet in. They called it complete, but again, a great completion from Tylen Johnson to keep this drive going.
25 yards on the catch. Now a fresh set of downs for the Chargers, and they're moving here. Jeremiah Anderson, he is shifty, gets skinny, past a pair of tackles, and he's up to the 40. 9 yards on the run on 1st by Anderson.
Right here, running back by committee, does a great job. Defeats the play right there, but by that time from James Upton, who's, again, blitzed off the edge, a great football player, sticks their foot in the ground and gets upfield. And Madison Prep doing a good job moving this football on this drive, G.
I think he's going to keep getting the ball, Derry. Now 3 carries for a total of 40 yards.
I'm not great at math, but I know that's a lot of yards per carry, Garrett.
Lab now commits to defend the run. More men in the box. Here's a handoff. Anderson again. He's got a 1st down on the scamper. Brought down at the 35, make it the 34. The 5'6" senior getting first downs on this drive.
And they did. And right there, U-High showed blitz on the outside with James Upton. So what Madison Prep decides to do, okay, we're not going to run to the outside. Let's get it right up to the middle behind our big, ugly, big physical offensive linemen. And they pick up another first down.
Anderson picks up the Farm Bureau first down. Tackle by Mark Acosta. A couple of times tonight we've called his name. 3 wide, 2 in the backfield alongside Tylen Johnson. First down for the Chargers. Johnson is going to get wrapped up at the 45-yard line. Huge tackle by Lane Mixon. He's got 5 sacks on the year now and got a little help by number 60, Mason Smith.
That time right here, Tylen Johnson, something you probably want to take back and try to get rid of that football. Held on it for too long. Lane Mixon comes up with the big play. And like I said, getting help from his friend Mason Smith.
Mixon, the team leader in tackles with 60 on the year, now 5 sacks. Still just a junior. A loss of 10 on that tackle. Here's McKnight trying to get some of it back. Back to the original line of scrimmage, and he's off to the races. Alfred McKnight inside the 10. A 40-yard run for Alfred McKnight.
Right, simple. They get a great push that time on the nose tackle. He runs behind that center and guard. It was like a hole opened up. A Mack truck could have ran through it. And that time, Alfred McKnight just ran up the hole and picked up all those yards back and more. And now have Madison Prep again, Garrett, in the scoring position.
He's already got a 21-yard touchdown run. McKnight remains in the backfield. Ball at the 6, and timeout is called with 3:48 remaining in the second. We'll be back with Madison Prep knocking on the door. .348 remaining in the second quarter. Madison Prep tied up with the state's #2 team in the power rankings, U-High, Landry Williams' team, about to run the 11th play of this drive. They've gotten big contributions from Alfred McKnight and Jeremiah Anderson. 4 wide set from the 6. The ball's not snapped with U-High in the neutral zone. Johnson still looking back to his sideline. Whistles blow, flags fly. Coming out of the timeout, that's not what Madison Prep wanted. So a timeout will be called by Madison Prep coming out of the timeout. Our game tonight brought to you by Coca-Cola, real magic. Also brought to you by MMR, building on a tradition of success. By Ochsner and the Ochsner Andrews Sports Medicine Institute. And by Louisiana Farm Bureau Federation, the voice of Louisiana agriculture. Beautiful yet stormy night here in Baton Rouge for our district showdown between Madison Prep and U-High. Tylen Johnson back out on the field with Alfred McKnight, trying to get some push from that offensive line. They need 6 yards to hit the end zone.
No lineman, I've been extremely impressed. U-High does a great job of stopping the run, especially with the dynamic linebacker and Alec Haynes. But they having their way right now. We talked about it at the pregame. The keys to the game is to establish line of scrimmage. And right now, Madison Prep is doing a great job of doing that.
Johnson in the shotgun. McKnight riding sidecar. Here comes the pressure. That ball's going to be tipped away by the defensive line of U-High. Guess who? Mark Acosta again. And
Garrett, at that time, Madison Prep had the right idea. U-High has no safeties, They have a single receiver to the right side of the field. So one-on-one coverage, trying to get him the football, but that time Mark Acosta gets penetration, gets his hands up in the air, and able to tip that football.
Lamar Brown with the pressure as well for the Cubs. Senior D lineman. Now 2nd and goal. Ball remains at the 6 as the rain steadily falls. You saw the cheerleaders on both sides wearing the rain gear, and the faithful fans here inside the stadium. Chargers will run it with McKnight. Tries to turn the corner, hits the gas, and he's in the end zone. 2nd score of the night for Alfred McKnight.
Again, this time they're having their way, Garrett. They're running inside, they're running outside. That time they get a great seal at the end on Upton, breaks a tackle, gets to the edge, and speed kills. And that time he was able to get to the end zone again.
On the 12th play of the drive, McKnight goes 6 yards to the house to put his team up 12-6. On for the 2-point conversion. The keeper by Johnson. He made contact and falls into the end zone. Tylen Johnson is fired up. It's 14-6, Madison Prep.
Right now, Garrett, I'm seeing 2 different feels from each of these ball clubs. I feel like right now Madison Prep wants this more than New High. Obviously, being up in the booth, we can see the feel. It's just the enthusiasm that Madison Prep is playing with, the energy that they have is overly matching what U High is displaying right now. So if I'm U High's coaches, I got to make sure I get these guys going right here. The quarterback keeper, right up the middle, something LSU couldn't stop last week against Texas A&M, but they did a great job at the time on the zone read. And it's difficult to defend, especially when you have a quarterback that can run the football. And on the touchdown play, again, he gets outside, uses speed, breaks the tackle, and gets to the end zone.
And that touchdown totally set up the 2-point conversion. They thought they were going to run it wide with Anderson again, and instead the keeper by Johnson. He's into the end zone and puts his team up by 8.
Right now, they had his U-High run defense on the edge right now.
5 carries on the drive for 46 yards. Madison Prep playing with some serious momentum right now. I think that was an attempt on an onside kick. Maybe got a little greedy there as Acosta comes up with it. Hey, the High School Spotlight's in its 2nd season and airs live on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. on the LHSAA Network live channel. The High School Spotlight features all the top stories in high school athletics from around the state in all sports. Tylen Johnson, the senior, has his team up on crosstown rival U-High. The Cubs will take over at their own 46-yard line. Man in motion for the Cubs as Picarella flushed out of the backfield. He's still on his feet, looking for Charles Musgrove down the field. They'll throw this one out of play. 2, maybe 3 linemen coming hard for Picarella. He just got it away.
That time Prep applies great pressure on Picarella, gets in the backfield. That time Braylon Wilson was the first man to get there. Picarella does a good job of eluding the pressure, but nowhere to go down the field. Madison Prep is doing a good job of locking up the back end of his defense.
So 2nd down and 10 coming up. There's Coach Andy Martin, who won it all with the Cubs in 2021. The freshmen on that team are now seniors. They've made 3 trips to the semifinals under Coach Martin. Nothing doing on that one by Picarella. Now 3rd down and long coming up for the Cubs.
Right now, Picarella is something I'm not used to. I see him out of sorts. And obviously it's raining right now, so it's going to be a little tough to complete these balls. That time he kind of overshot his receiver.
Let's talk about the conditions down on the field. We go to our guy, Steve Schneider.
Yeah, guys, the rain's picked up again, and certainly the football is wet. There's a lot of slipperiness, whether you're trying to hand it off, throw it, catch it. And this is something we haven't seen for weeks. So it's a new element to this game.
Picarella with the nice little wheel. Zay Martin over midfield, and he'll finish about 5 yards shy of the 1st down.
I'm interested to know what type of cleats Steve is wearing tonight. What you got down there, Steve?
Okay, Jamiris Allen on the first scoring drive pulled his helmet off, spit out his his mouthpiece. Apparently he suffered a concussion 2 weeks ago and had a head-to-head hit. They took him out and took him to the bus. They lost another lineman, but right after that play, did you notice, Derry, you were saying they want it more. Right after that play, Madison Prep got real. And I was at practice this week, and you know what Landry Williams said? We're both good teams with good players, good lines. We're going to do what we're going to do. It's going to come down to who wants it more. And I think that moment in this game when they saw their teammate go out, pull his helmet off, spit out his mouthpiece, he was disappointed he couldn't stay in this game, and the team rallied from that moment on, and they've been playing like it.
Absolutely. Nice to have a guy with the talent of Malachi Dunn that can just step in for your sophomore starter in Jamiris Allen. Timeout called on the field before U-High is scheduled to punt it away on 4th and 4.
We're not talking enough about this Madison Prep defense. Emil Picarella obviously has a lot of experience, and he deserves all the credit because of the accolades that he's accumulated. But Madison Prep is definitely confusing him. Like I said early in the game, they're doing a lot of different things on the back end of this coverage. They're disguising, they're showing cover 2, then pre-snap, they're right when the ball snapped, they're shifting to cover 3. So they're doing a great job of mixing up defensively and also applying pressure on man blitz, end zone blitzes as well.
So the Cubs poised to punt here, and Derry, what a week it's been. Last week, U-High could do no wrong against Parkview. Here, they're kind of stuck in neutral.
I think Madison Prep came out and took it to him tonight at the beginning.
Fake attempt on the punt.
Yeah, last week against Parkview, I think they just came out and they were the hammer last week. We talked about it pregame, but Madison Prep came out, punched them in the mouth, and I think it's hard for them to react to it. So they got to kind of get it going.
Here's Jaden Gloston, the direct snap to the defensive back on special teams. He'll charge forward for the first down. And maybe that will get U-High going here in the second quarter.
And we talked about Madison Prep taking risks. It looked like the script has been flipped. U-High is taking risks now to make sure they get back this ball game and tie it up.
Legs churning, hard running there. Not a lot of room for Sage Ingram, and he's brought down with a minimal gain.
Madison Prep defensively, I'm in awe. They're playing inspired football right now. The front seven is playing inspired football. The back end of defense is playing inspired football. These guys are getting after it. Even if they are in the wrong gap, they're running so hard to the football that they're making up for any mistakes that they may be having.
U-High has not been able to get the running game going. Here's pressure on Picarella. He steps up and gets driven into the ground. Huge tackle by Guyton.
And let me explain something. This is the great thing about defense. You see one guy made the play, but other guys on Madison Prep allowed Gayton to make that football play because with the pressure from the outside, it allowed Picarella to step up in the pocket. When he stepped in the pocket, Gayton was in the right position to make that stop.
Now 3rd and 11. Max protect. They're looking to run. Instead, it's a pass into the flats to Martin. He's trying to wiggle free of the tackle, but he's brought down. 4th down coming up.
And for the viewers at home, you may think, oh, well, he got a tackle. But let me tell you something. Zay Martin is one of the most explosive receivers in the state of Louisiana. To be able to tackle him in the space on a wet football field, the rain coming down, says a lot about this Madison Prep defense. Great job that time from the defensive back, Andre Gibson.
Picarella in the ball game is 5 of 10 passing for 12 yards. 4th and 5 coming up, and it looks like the Cubs will stay in as the clock runs. 20 seconds remaining. Are they going to draw it down all the way and call a timeout for one final play? Timeout finally called by the Cubs with 15 seconds remaining. About 16 seconds ran off the clock there on 4th and 5. Don't want to give them a lot of time if you do turn it over to score a touchdown of their own.
Yeah, I think they let too much time run off the clock. It was wrong like that 30-second mark. 4th and 5, you're on the plus side of the field. I think this is 4th down territory. You have to go for it. Even if you don't make it, I just don't see Madison Prep moving the football, you know, with 20 seconds left in the game to go score. But now what you did, you put yourself in position for U-High. You only got 15 seconds to try to make something happen.
I think U-High does look to go to the end zone on 2 plays here. They have 1 timeout remaining. Mason Melanson is their field goal kicker. He has 1 on the year. It was 30 yards. Coach Martin, is he rolling the dice here? Ball on the 35-yard line. They need to pick up 5 to move it. Ethan Kimmey at the bottom of your screen alongside Charlie Pettit. Corbin Odell in the backfield. Play clock now down to 10. They still haven't hiked it. And Madison Prep will use their last timeout, maybe just a kind of sneak preview of what U-High was going to run there. Coach Williams has done a great job with this program. They are a model of consistency as well. Of course, Mike Roach started the program back in 2012, 2013. And of course, you know, they've done something that most teams would love to do. They're trying to make the playoffs for the 13th year in a row. Since they made it for the first time in 2013, they've never missed it. Our game tonight brought to you by MMR. Built from values, distinguished by tradition. A proud supporter of the LHSAA network, bringing you tonight's game as we tick into the final seconds of the second half. Four men in the box. Here comes the pressure on Picarella. Goes for the end zone to Martin, and it's knocked away. Out of the hands of Javen Holmes. So a turnover on downs. 9 seconds remaining for Madison Prep.
Good job that time by Javen Holmes from his safety position. Stand on the hash, able to read and react and get over, and made a great play on the football. Javen Holmes is a long-rangey safety, good-looking prospect on the back end of their defense.
Picarella on the sideline will head to the half. The Cubs will need to regroup, trailing 14-6. And with the rainy conditions, do we just see a kneel down here?
Yeah, absolutely. I think right now, Madison Prep, you're excited for what you did in the first half. So you want to kneel the football down and go in with momentum into the second half.
Tylen Johnson led the offense up and down the field. Alfred McKnight had a pair of rushing touchdowns, and Madison Prep with a 14-6 lead here as the second quarter comes to a close. Let's go down to Steve Schneider with Coach.
We're here with Landry Williams, his team with a lead and what could be an upset of the U-High Cubs here in Memorial Stadium, Senior Day. I went to both teams' Tuesday team drills.
Right.
Okay? It's the last real practice for a Thursday game, right?
Yes.
And you guys were just coaching those defensive backs and coaching those defensive backs and making sure they had a game plan.
Right.
And it's paying off.
It was going to be an area of weakness that we had, so we just had to develop our guys and trust them, Make sure we watch film with them, make sure we had that relationship with them each and every day and each and every practice, so when we have times like this, we can make certain adjustments to get us out of, tough situations. So right now, they're playing well.
And at the end of that practice, you gathered your team up, you said, hey, they're a good team, we're a good team. We have a good line, they have a good line. Good skill people, both sides. Right. It's going to come down to who wants it. You lose your starting center, and from that moment on, your team just kicked it to another gear.
Well, it's the next guy up. We teach our guys next guy up. Don't be complacent when you're on the sideline because, you want to play away from being a starter. So right now, I'm proud of the way we're playing. We just got to continue to, take this momentum to the second half. We still got a lot of game to be played in. So I'm excited where we are right now. I knew the special team would be a challenge. We just got to continue to play. I think, I like what we're doing right now. Besides that, my center going out, that's the only tough part. But, hey, we just got to keep playing football.
Thanks for your time. Good luck in the second half. Absolutely. Guys, back up to you.
One of the benefits of playing at Memorial, the teams can head to their locker rooms and have a little respite from the rain. 14-6, Madison Prep over U-High on Halloween night.
So it's going to come down to this. Can they do it?
Oh no, they missed it! Wait a minute. There's a flag on the play!
The start of school means the start of new sports seasons, which unfortunately can mean injuries. Too often, sports injuries are treated with opioids, leading to addiction among our youth. And drug addictions can cause overdoses and deaths. If you're injured, ask your doctor for medicines and therapies that don't use opioids. And if you're struggling with opioid addiction, we can offer treatment. Opioid addiction is a losing game. You can help. Learn more at realhelpvr.com. That's realhelpvr.com.
For over 100 years, our families have gathered together to share with each other our challenges and hopes, to take this light we've been gifted and paint a brighter future for the next generation. The seeds we plant today are the bounty we harvest tomorrow. As farmers, we know that together we're stronger than we could ever be apart. We're the Louisiana Farm Bureau, and we're the voice of Louisiana agriculture.
If you want to break the rock, you need to make yourself indestructible. If you want to play between the hedges, you need to work out there, up there, down there, everywhere. If you want to reach the win bar, you need to lose sleep, lose count. You need to play every game like you got nothing to lose.
A rainy Halloween night here in Baton Rouge. The LHSAA Network Game of the Week. U-High trailing Madison Prep by a score of 14-6. Chargers over the Cubs. Now let's take a look at the high school spotlight from this week on the network.
Welcome to Pink Paradise. The annual volleyball pink game between state powerhouses Mount Carmel and Dominican always brings out the great competition. But the teams band together to fundraise and raise awareness for breast cancer research, raising over $300,000 the past couple years.
So the rivalry between these two schools is just so great. As you can see afterwards, you know, everybody's hugging and, you know, we're all friends off the court. So it's just so awesome that we can have so much passion for this game and for our schools. And we really come out and play a great game against each other every time we play. It's hard fought just like this. And it's just so awesome what we can do for such a great cause.
Yes, for a super great cause. I mean, that's, you know, what I mainly tell the girls. I'm like, it's for a cause, win or lose. We are raising money to support families that have suffered unfortunate from breast cancer.
We're joined now by Assistant Executive Director Adam McDowell of the LHSAA. Adam, it's been a great start to the season for cross country. Tell us about the upcoming championships.
Absolutely. We have our state championship on Monday, November 18th at Northwestern State University, so we're getting ready for it.
Can't wait. We've seen record-breaking performances so far this year. What's really stood out in this competitive season?
You know, I think it's just the fact that the athletes are watching each other's performances online now. They can see what everybody's done from one weekend to the next. They're getting inspired by each other. It's really elevating the performance for everybody.
Northwestern State and the community of Natchitoches have really wrapped their arms around this. Just talk to how they have branded the cross-country championships up there.
They have. Well, you know, they've had it for almost 3 decades now. So there's a lot of records there. So the kids look forward. They want to be on their school's top 25 list, top 15 list, top 10 list. So it's inspiring for the kids. It's inspiring for the coaches to kind of be able to compare from one year to the next to see how they're doing. And who knows, you know, maybe those kids will get their name on the wall at the school.
A battle of unbeatens on Thursday night as Catholic Point Capee welcomed the St. Edmund Blue Jays to town. First drive for the Hornets, Jude Morrison rolls out and finds Brooks Capps with the amazing grab marked down at the 1. Next play, they give it to Micah Nipple, and Nipple punches it in for an early 6-0 lead. But here comes the Blue Jays. Kane West hands it off to Henry Summerlin, and Summerlin knocks over a few guys on his way to the end zone to get St. Ed's on the board. Second half now, Morrison's going to take the option himself and finds his way into the end zone to restore the lead for Catholic. Hornets defense shuts down St. Ed's in the second half. A few big sacks like this one by Cohen Higginbotham helps secure the win for Catholic 26-22.
This is what our kids are about. You know, we've played some closer games this year against some opponents that we probably shouldn't have played as close with, but that battle tested us. We were ready. We've faced so much adversity this year, having only 27 kids on the roster total, and we haven't had 27 healthy kids since June. We've been down to as few as 18 guys some weeks. So facing that adversity, finding ways to win games when we were down before, that all prepared us for this moment.
For over 100 years, our families have gathered together to share with each other our challenges and hopes, to take this light we've been gifted and paint a brighter future for the next generation. The seeds we plant today are the bounty we harvest tomorrow. As farmers, we know that together we're stronger than we could ever be apart. We're the Louisiana Farm Bureau, and we're the voice of Louisiana agriculture.
Love did this. This is love's fault, and it hurts. It's devastating. But you always come back for more. What else gets you up this early? What else makes you feel this wild, this ecstatic, this focused, this obsessed? Has to be love. It's in your soul, your head, your heart, your hands. You love the game. It's your nature. Nothing is more real.
No one ever thinks they'll be in this position. Buying medication online could put you here, or here, or here. Counterfeit pills and other illicit substances are being laced with fentanyl, and fentanyl kills. It's 50 times stronger than heroin. Medical professionals can't even tell the difference between a real pill and one that is fake. At least not until they do your autopsy. Don't take anything online that doesn't come from your doctor. Buying online can leave you flatlined.
Halftime rolling here on Halloween night in Baton Rouge. A spooky view of the Mississippi River. Madison Prep with a 14-6 lead. Unfortunately, 2 weeks ago, the state of Louisiana lost a legendary coach in Charles Baglio, an LHSAA Hall of Famer. Let's see more about Coach Baggs in this report filed by our Steve Schneider.
Monumental loss for our coaching profession. Coach was a Hall of Famer at Independence High School for over 3 decades of his work on the field and off the field at Independence, but in being the founder of the LFCA and the godfather of the Coaches Association. And one of the lasting things he did was make sure that every member of the LFCA would continue to receive 2 tickets to every LSU home game. So that was one of the things that he always fought for in the transition to coaches, and just a tremendous loss, and just a model for what our industry should be, and definitely for all of our football coaches as well.
Longtime LHSAA coach Charles Baglio won over 200 games at Independence High and was later hired by Nick Saban at LSU to serve as the school's high school liaison. Baglio was inducted into the LHSAA Hall of Fame in 2001 and was part of 3 national championship teams at LSU under Saban, Les Miles, and Ed Ogeron.
Everything he touched seemed to turn to gold. I don't know, it's just he was good-natured, hard guy, was blessing us.
In the 80s and the 90s, and really for 30 years, you could say that 2 teams in purple and gold, Tim Detilier's Lutcher Bulldogs and the Tigers of Independence and Charlie Baglio, always on a collision course in the 3A playoffs. But Detilier, who became fast friends with Baglio, says the first time they met is the one he remembers the most.
It's my first year at St. Charles, and I'm going to be the head football coach because football is king. And I look at the schedule, and Independence is on, and I'm saying, who scheduled it? Because at that time, he's got Tofield and all, we have no business playing. Well, anyway, we go down there and we play. We played hard. It was a close game. They won. And, shook his hand and stuff, and because I really didn't know him. I go home, I'm living in Grand Point, and I get home, I finally get to head to bed. It's 2 o'clock in the morning, and the phone rings. Brown, I can tell you love it. Who is this? It's Coach Baglio. And he started, he must probably had a, little party after the game or something, I don't know. But he just kept talking, and we talked. And from that moment on, he became a friend, but then he became one of my best friends. We did everything together. I don't know of anybody who ever, didn't like Coach Baggs. Even if you had a problem with him, he'd win you over. I just couldn't believe it. Even today when I think about it, I'm kind of in shock.
In 22 years, Baglio won 77% of his games and didn't have to trade his purple and gold or Tigers to work for LSU football as a high school relations man under Saban, Miles, and Orgeron, earning him 3 trips to the White House.
So Baglio was telling the president, Trump, a joke. And of course, they laugh. And then Coach Bag hits Trump on the back. All right, Brown, hit his back. 2 or 3 guards come to get him, and Trump's got to wave them off. But that's Baglio.
But perhaps Baggs best known for growing the state's high school coaches association, clinics, scholarships, giving back to the game that gave him joy.
Yeah, everybody knows he's a casino guy. If he's having a good night, whether he knows you or not, he's sharing it with you. Like who does that? But if you were angry with him, you couldn't stay angry with him. He wouldn't let it. He just wouldn't let it. And his nature, he's almost like Santa Claus walking around. I don't know how else to say it.
Baglio, it seems, always loved the handoff, both on the field.
They were running the football, and at that time, if you could run the football in high school, because you never know the weather and stuff, you're going to be successful. But of course, when you got guys like Tofield and they always had a running back some kind of way. They had a running back, and the guy was unbelievable.
Or off the field, to his friend and fellow Hall of Famer.
For some reason, he took an extra liking to me. I don't know why. I became the treasurer, secretary, not that I wanted it.
Whether it was money or hardware, after Superdome losses to Evangel.
He got the trophy. He immediately, he gave me the trophy. I said, what do you want me to do with it? Just keep it. What I'm doing with that.
Or the clinics they ran at the Dome.
We would have the key to the Superdome. I don't think they ever gave the key to the Superdome to anybody, So they gave it to Baglio. Baglio gives it. So for 3 days, I got the key to the Superdome. What I'm doing with it,
Until the end, when Baggs planned to repurpose his late wife's garments for gifts to charities sparing no expense.
2 or 3 weeks ago, he called me. Hey, is that lady still working? I can't believe I'm remembering all this and telling the story. I said, sure. And I got in touch with her. And she'd love to do it. And I had to call her, because he never gave me the stuff. He didn't have the chance. I guess that's my last story.
Coach Baglio passed away last week at age 81. Condolences to his family and friends. We thank Coach Detillier and LHSAA Director Eric Held for taking time to speak about Coach Baggs.
Love did this. This is love's fault, and it hurts. It's devastating. But you always come back for more. What else gets you up this early? What else makes you feel this wild, this ecstatic, this focused, this obsessed? Has to be love. It's in your soul, your head, your heart, your hands. You love the game. It's your nature. Nothing is more real.
For over 100 years, our families have gathered together to share with each other our challenges and hopes, to take this light we've been gifted and paint a brighter future for the next generation. The seeds we plant today are the bounty we harvest tomorrow. As farmers, we know that together we're stronger than we could ever be apart. We're the Louisiana Farm Bureau, and we're the voice of Louisiana agriculture.
So it's going to come down to this. Can they do it?
Oh no, they missed it! Wait a minute. There's a flag on the play!
A spooky view of the Louisiana State Capitol. A misty, rainy night here in Baton Rouge. The game of the week now 14-6. Madison Prep potentially, Derry, with a upset brewing over the number 2 ranked power rankings U-High Cubs. There was a bit of a momentum swing in this one, but for the most part, that line of scrimmage has been owned by Madison Prep.
Madison Prep is running behind that big offensive lineman. Obviously, pregame, we talked about it. They have the advantage, and they're using it to their advantage. They're controlling the line of scrimmage, and they're controlling the clock, keeping the ball out of the UI offense hands.
Let's take a look at some highlights from the first half. And, Derry, what we'll see here is bad field position for Madison Prep. It didn't matter. They were going to be able to drive the ball. Alec Haynes is going to score on a 21-yard run here. Actually gets just shy of the goal line, and then he'll punch it in from the Wildcat position. Good start for them.
And right here again, a great running game right here by Alfred McKnight, hitting the hole, getting upfield, running behind the offensive lineman, bouncing to the outside, and right, a good tough run. And I love the way he finished this run, bounced off a tackle to get the end zone.
Tylen Johnson, the 5'11 senior, goes to the air here.
And look, great throw, great catch that time. And again, Alfred McKnight, hold up the middle, runs through it, gets upfield, and great job of finishing the run.
McKnight's a special talent now. 18 touchdowns on the year. Scampers in here, runs off the left end.
Right, fake punt again by U-High. We talk about Madison Prep taking a risk. U-High takes a risk again, picks up a fake punt, but Madison Prep defense was able to hold them going into the second half.
The offense for Madison Prep had 83 and 91-yard touchdown drives. Derry, let's take a look at the halftime stats.
It's simple. Look at the rushing yards, 148 to 81. Anytime you can run the football on any level and run it consistently and successful, you're going to put yourself in a position to win a football game.
2 penalties apiece. We'll come back. Third quarter will kick off here on a spooky Halloween night live from Memorial Stadium in downtown Baton Rouge. This is the LHSAA Network Game of the Week.
For over 100 years, our families have gathered together to share with each other our challenges and hopes, to take this light we've been gifted and paint a brighter future for the next generation. The seeds we plant today are the bounty we harvest tomorrow. As farmers, we know that together we're stronger than we could ever be apart. We're the Louisiana Farm Bureau, and we're the voice of Louisiana agriculture.
If you want to break the rock, you need to make yourself indestructible. If you want to play between the hedges, you need to work out there, up there, down there, everywhere. If you want to reach the win bar, you need to lose sleep, lose count. You need to play every game like you got nothing to lose.
For over 100 years, our families have gathered together to share with each other our challenges and hopes, to take this light we've been gifted and paint a brighter future for the next generation. The seeds we plant today are the bounty we harvest tomorrow. As farmers, we know that together we're stronger than we could ever be apart. We're the Louisiana Farm Bureau, and we're the voice of Louisiana agriculture.
Welcome back into Memorial Stadium. Halftime is in the books. The rain still steadily falling here at the stadium. We can go down to our Steve Schneider on the sidelines for an update.
Thanks, guys. Just talked to Andy Martin a minute ago with U-High. He certainly did the same thing that we did throughout the first half and at halftime, commending the Chargers' pass defense, really stopping that U-High passing game. Certainly, the moisture had something to do with that. But just like the game we had last week, these coaches know this is a four-quarter game. He's very confident they're going to make a couple of changes, clean up a few things, and get right back into this game. And I wouldn't be surprised if that's what we see from the Cubs.
Thank you, Steve. Madison Prep will kick off. Last week against Parkview, U-High won 42-7, and Southeastern Louisiana commit Zay Martin had 10 catches for 140 yards, 2 passing touchdowns, and he also returned a punt for a touchdown. He has yet to really get on track here. Could it come on this kickoff? They will pooch punt it, and it will be fielded cleanly at the 35-yard line. Again, great field position near midfield for U-High. Will they make hay with it?
And I know Madison Prep is trying to keep the ball out of Zay Martin's hand, but at some point you're going to have to kick this ball deep and see if U-High can drive the length of the field, because at some point I think it's going to bite you in the butt if you continue to give U-High this great field position. So at some point I think you need to kick the ball deep to see if U-High can drive the length of the field.
Emil Picarella, second-year starter, back out for the second half. 17 touchdowns, just 2 interceptions on the season. Corbin Odell in the backfield with him. Odell's done some hard running. They'll hand off to him, follows the blocker, and Odell's across midfield.
Right here, Corbin Odell, they get a great double team on the 3 technique, works up to the second level, and Corbin Odell was able to find that crack and slip through and pick up positive yards. So in the second half, U-High needs to match Madison Prep's energy and match their physicality.
Now 2nd and 1 for the Cubs. Ball's on the 47-yard line of Madison Prep. And they are squared up and ready to drive this ball. Odell looking to run out of the eye. Handoff. I think he's got the first down, but he took a pretty hard hit from Gayton. You know, I'll tell you what, earlier in the season, and U-High no stranger to trailing and coming back to win, they played Catholic High earlier this season in a game that went to overtime, and they beat the defending Bears out of 5A. They won it here, 27-21 in OT. Picarella had a couple of touchdown passes and really keyed the win there. One of the last times we saw Keelan Moses as well in action. Bulldozing his way up to about the 40-yard line. Another hard run for U-High and Corbin Odell.
No passes yet for U-High. So they're trying to establish line of scrimmage just like Madison Prep has established line of scrimmage on the opposite side of the ball. And so right now I think you're going to see a little different dynamic open up the second half for U-High. And be on the lookout for Zay Martin at some point to go over the top, especially with one single high safety that Madison Prep has.
5 men on the line for Madison Prep. And still rushing hard is Corbin Odell. It was 2nd and 7. He will move the chains again, though a flag flies in late. They've done a good job of riding behind number 13, Charlie Pettit, the 6'4", 215-pound junior.
And one thing U-High is doing in this drive, too, they're running the football with the quarterback underneath the center. It's not long developing run plays. They're snapping the ball, handing it off, and getting downhill in a hurry.
Another penalty. Just 2 on each team in the first half. This one on Madison Prep. Corbin Odell, a player without a helmet. Yeah, you just, for the safety of the student athletes right there, you can't continue to play without a helmet.
So right here underneath the center, thought was a block right there, number 63 from Madison Prep, Roderick Walker. Great way to finish, but you want to be safe. Can you imagine getting penalized for playing hard?
No.
But again, I understand safety is first, and when the helmet does come off, you have to stop. But when you're in the midst of a battle like that, Garrett, you're not thinking about your helmet right now. You're thinking about making the play.
Odell in the backfield. He had 2 short rushing touchdowns to put away Parkview last week. Looking to get a full head of steam running against Madison Prep's big D-line. He's tackled in the backfield. How about Darius Mack with the stop?
Good job that time by Darius Mack. He's made a couple plays tonight from that defensive line position by getting the backfield. And right here you see Madison Prep. They sneak both linebackers in the A-gap. It caused disruption. Darius Mack was able to benefit from that, gets in the backfield, and makes a big play to try to put this run game in the halt for a little bit.
The sophomore Mack now with 5 tackles for loss on the season. Little pass over the middle, pops up, and I think that'll end up being caught. It jumped up off his uniform and fell back into his breadbasket. Picarella with his first completed pass of the second half.
Right, trying to get Zay Martin involved on the RPO on the slant route. Right here, the ball hits the ground, and he was still able to concentrate. Great concentration that time by Zay Martin.
I don't know if we have another angle there. They've given him credit for the catch.
I wonder did the ground cause the ball to pop up?
As he's rolling over.
Yeah.
Odell remains in the backfield. Waits for the hole to open. Smashes past the 10-yard line. He's finally driven back. Here's another look at that last catch.
Let's take a look right here. RPO action. Slant route right here. Looks like he had it in his elbow the whole time, and the defender from Madison Prep ripped it out when the ball wasn't on the ground. He's able to catch that ball. It's a great concentration that time by Zay Martin.
U-High definitely trying to get the running game going on this drive and potentially tie it up to start the third. This one's through the hands of Alex Haynes. Did he fall on the ball or not? Haynes still fighting for possession with a Madison Prep defensive back. A turnover goes into the hands of Javen Holmes.
And right here, to try to go with the heavy set with Alex Haynes. Looks like the snap was a little bit too quick. He wasn't expecting it. Madison Prep was there to recover the ball, recover the fumble. And if I'm Madison Prep right now, again, this is something that you want. Create turnovers, establish line of scrimmage, and run the clock. And that's something that they have done so far throughout this game.
That's 4 possessions in a row for U-High without scoring a touchdown. Madison Prep will take over. Ball on the 20-yard line of the Chargers. And that big offensive line looking to open up some holes for the running attack in Jeremiah Anderson. We mentioned at the top of the broadcast the turnover margin was great for U-High. They were +7. That is now their 5th fumble of the year.
As you can tell right here, G, Madison Prep is in no hurry to snap that football at all. They're taking their time. They're letting the clock run down. Obviously, know with the conditions, with it raining, they don't want to force anything and create a turnover. So expect to continue to run this football and maybe do some RPO off the run game.
Delayed run by Johnson. He's over the 30, the 40. Trucks one man. He's up near midfield. Tylen Johnson averages 5 yards a carry when he runs from the quarterback spot. He had a mite more there.
Great job that time by Tylen Johnson on a counter play, quarterback counter. At that time on the backside, if you're U-High, you don't want to over pursue. That time they over pursued. He was able to get around the edge on the left side and pick up a big first down.
Now 1st and 10 on the 46-yard line. Alfred McKnight is slowed down in the backfield and gets to midfield. McKnight had 2 touchdowns in the first half, now has 18 on the season.
Even on that run, they were able to pick up 4 to 5 yards. So anytime you can pick up 4 or 5 yards on a first down, you always put yourself in a winning position for offensive drive.
2nd and 5. The snap is behind Johnson. He'll throw this one over the middle of the field, and what would have been a touchdown is in and out of the hands of Amarin Sanders. A busted play where you almost came up with a 50-yard touchdown.
Great job that time by Tylen Johnson picking the ball up. Obviously, sometimes you want the quarterback to fall on it, but he was able to keep his composure, pick the football up, keep his eyes down the field, but it looked like it was a flag on the play with a lineman down the field on that play. And sometimes that's what happens when the quarterback scrambles and obviously has a legal receiver downfield. But heads play by Tylen Johnson by not downing that ball and picking up extra yards, loss of yards. So right here, obviously he wasn't expecting a snap, but again, picks it up, makes a great athletic play, and almost hits his receiver in stride. Don't know if it'll count it, as you can see guys down the field.
Again, Steve Schneider reported Jamiris Allen, the sophomore center, out with a concussion. That snap is good from his backup, Malachi Dunn. Here's Anderson as flags fly, trying to turn the corner. That's likely a hold in the backfield or at the line of scrimmage. Anderson, the 5'6" senior tailback, brought down pretty hard on the far sideline.
So right now, Madison Prep has looked like, something they don't want to do, going backwards right now with the bot snap. And then right now, looks like a holding play, and they try to get the ball on the outside. Right here, Jeremiah Anderson comes on the outside. Looks like they got number 2, Cavelli Williams, with that hold. Somebody will make sure anytime you block as a receiver to keep those hands on the inside. You never want to get on the outside. Don't want to take away their aggression, but sometimes working your technique to make sure you keep your hands on the inside and not create a holding penalty.
Madison Prep is on the 35-yard line, has to go across midfield and get to U-High's 44 to move the chains. Johnson got a little time, throws over the middle, almost into the hands of his intended target, Landon Johnson. Looks like pass interference might be called on U-High, maybe slowed down the receiver's route. So that'll bring them into U-High territory, and Madison Prep, which started pretty deep on their own side.
Right here, they try to go in the post route to Landon Johnson. I don't see anything from that angle to see if he maybe pulled the jersey before he broke on the route. I'm not sure, but a huge play that time. Huge call on this UI defense.
Number 33, Patrick Patton in coverage. Here's a little burst by Anderson. He's back up to the 40, and that will move the chain. So from 2nd and 20 to first down, Jeremiah Anderson.
I wish the viewers at home could see from our viewpoint on how they're establishing this run. Right now, they're not getting a surge. You see Madison Prep offensive linemen, they're getting a surge. They're the one moving 2 yards or 5 yards down the field, and they're established line of scrimmage right now.
That's a Farm Bureau first down by Anderson. Cuts back across the grain, tries to get skinny, but U-High will stop his forward momentum. Anderson, his first 3 carries of the game, went for 40 yards. He's been a workhorse for them here over the last 2 quarters. 6 minutes remaining in the third.
Right at that time, almost botched the snap, tries to get to the outside, gets east and west. UI does a good job playing gap sound football, stand on the backside as well, able to get a few guys to the football and come up with a stop.
Sophomore defensive back Emmanuel Moses on the tackle. McKnight back in the ball game, makes a cut, and he's got a first down over the 30. Boy, it's a 2-headed monster right now for Madison Prep's rushing game.
They're doing a great job on this power G play. And again, they're just pushing, they're getting a big surge. And right now, this UID lineman is not getting any penetration, not getting any surge. So I think right now they're going to bring in the all-world right tackle, Lamar Brown, on the defensive end spot for UI, a defensive tackle spot, to see if they can maybe control this run game.
Alfred McKnight now over 100 yards, 13 carries for 108 and 2 touchdowns. Whistles blow, and the U-High defensive tackles that were converging on Johnson lay off after the whistle. Now 1st and 15 coming up for Madison Prep on the false start.
Yeah. And UI, like I said, they brought in Lamar Brown. He's playing the six technique from his defensive end position. Obviously, he is highly touted as a right tackle, but he can't give us some help on the defense side of the ball. Number 55 playing that left end spot. Let's see if he can help out this UI defense.
Johnson tries to avoid the pressure, and he cannot. Down goes Johnson, a sack for U-High.
Well, we just called his name, Lamar Brown. So they put him in at the defensive end position to see if they can stop this UI offense. And that time he gets great penetration, blows by the offensive tackle, gets in the backfield, and makes a big sack that time on Talon Johnson.
6'5", 280, coming like he's got a rocket behind him.
He's very athletic. Even at the tackle position, has great feet, can move side to side, and coming from the defensive end spot. A lot of offensive tackles in high school are not going to be able to block Lamar Brown.
Now 2nd and 23. Johnson hands off to McKnight. He's over the 30, and a touchdown saving tackle by Alec Haynes. He was ready to burst into the end zone.
Smart by Madison Prep that time. Run away from number 55. Obviously, he blew up the last play. That time they go opposite Lamar Brown, get off the edge, and they pick up a lot of yards and get themselves in a manageable position on 3rd down.
14-yard pickup by McKnight. Now 3rd and 9. Our ball on the 28-yard line. And one of the players for Madison Prep still struggling to get up on the sideline.
Looked like it was a McKnight cramping a little bit. He's been a workhorse tonight, so see if they get some fluids in him, he can get back in this ball game.
Jeremiah Anderson in the backfield. Trip wide receivers, top of your screen. Johnson looking for a target. He's got all day. Into the end zone, in and out of the hands. That one intended for Brandon Blunt, the senior. Rain continues to fall here, Derry. That might thwart some of our passing attack chances. This one look good.
Right here, Talon Johnson had all day to throw the football. Great job from his Madison Prep offensive lineman. Sees Blunt down the field, slips right through his hand. That's a football that you have to catch no matter the weather conditions. Great ball placement. Just have to come up with the catch next time.
Blunt is a good wide receiver, 2nd on the team with 5 touchdowns. Talking with his assistant coach right now. 3:15 remaining now, 4th and 9, and a player down for the Lab School, Aaron Moore. All right, let's take the moment to look at a very compelling trivia question on our LHSAA Network Game of the Week. This stadium, built in 1952, hosted thousands of high school football games. Southern University played here, and the Grantland Rice Bowl for 5 seasons. But, Derry, in addition to these football events, what world championship event took place at Memorial Stadium in 1970?
I mean, can y'all have a question at least 1 week where I know the answer to?
We'll have the answer a little bit later in this quarter. But for everybody guessing out there, it's not soccer. It's not rugby.
I mean, 1970? I was born in 87. I'm not going to know the answer.
There's probably not a lot of television footage from 1970 at that World Championship event out there on YouTube. This old stadium looking better than ever. Credit Breck for doing a great job of making sure everybody's atmosphere out here is enjoyable. We're glad you're with us on the LHSAA Network Game of the Week. Looks like the young man, Aaron Moore, a junior defensive back, heading over to the sideline under his own power, which is a good sign. Now Madison Prep's offense will come back out 4th and 9. They're inside the 30. We're going for it.
And big Lamar Brown is coming back in. Found out where he's lining up at. If he's on that left side of the defensive end, if I'm Madison Prep, I'm telling running back to go on that side to make sure you do a chip block and not let him get free.
Now the rain really coming down here in Baton Rouge on Halloween night.
Looks like U-High right now has a 0 blitz, no safety help.
Will Johnson pick it up? He's pressured out of the backfield, nowhere to go. Now he breaks free of 3 defenders. Johnson keeps his eyes downfield and gets the first down. A 10-yard scamper by the senior, and that'll move the chains.
Talon Johnson on this play possesses heart, grit, determination, and leadership. You have Lamar Brown, who's 6'3", 280 pounds, running at your full speed. You don't flinch. You keep your eyes down the field, and you pick up a big 4th down running the football. Don't tell me this game is not important to Madison Prep, and don't tell me this game is not important to the senior quarterback, Talon Johnson.
Johnson's now rushed 8 times for 38 yards in the game. Fresh set of downs. They're on the 16. Keeper by Johnson. He's chased out of the backfield and knocked down hard by Alec Haynes. Haynes at 6'2", 225 just put Johnson on his butt.
Well, Garrett, one way you keep a quarterback from running is to make sure he doesn't run again. And that time, Alec Haynes got fed up with it, came downhill, and laid the boom. Nice shoulder check. Alex Haynes said, enough of this running around. We need to make a stop. And so next time Tylen Johnson runs the football, he's going to think twice about it. He's definitely going to be looking for number 25.
Johnson needs to get the offense to the 6-yard line. They can still go 1st and goal. Now looking at 2nd and 8, 3 down linemen for the Cubs. Late handoff to Anderson, trying to turn the corner. Ben Picarella is in his way, and the ball's knocked loose. Mark Acosta comes up with it. A turnover down near the red zone for Madison Prep.
We talked about his UI team matching the energy of Madison Prep, matching the physicality. At that time, late give, a great read, but Patrick Patton, the defensive back, sophomore, lays the stick that time on the running back. Jeremiah Anderson, UI was able to come up with that turnover.
A long, meticulous drive that was kept going on a miracle 4th down conversion by Johnson ends with the turnover for Madison Prep. Back-to-back turnovers now after none in the first half. How about Patrick Patton, the sophomore defensive back, having the mindset to knock that one loose?
That was a big stick, and that could be a momentum swinger because Madison Prep had a great offensive drive, moving the football, Tylen Johnson making great plays with his legs, and to turn the ball over within the 5-yard line, it could be a momentum swift. And so let's see what's going on. Let's see how this UI offense responds.
A drive that took 6:48 off the clock ends about 6 yards shy of a touchdown. We can go down to Steve on the field for another update.
Guys, it's really coming down. This field is in great shape, so I don't really think it's going to affect the playing surface, but definitely with as many balls that have slipped out of hands and not been held on to, it's going to factor into this game. I want to point out one thing. U-High's first possession, and in hindsight's 20/20, but I wonder if U-High is second guessing. That first possession, they took the ball deep into the red zone, and on a 4th and 1, they got into a shotgun for a deep snap wildcat to a guy who doesn't hardly ever catch it, and with the rain, it slips out of his hand and they waste that opportunity. So I don't think you're going to see them try doing that sort of thing. I think they're going to need to keep it simple in between the tackles, maybe throw occasionally to keep the defense off balance.
Thank you very much, sir. 1:30 remaining in the 3rd quarter, and U-High backed up deep in their own territory. They've got Sage Ingram halfway into the end zone. Picarella's at the line. Hand off to Ingram up the middle, splits 2 defenders. And depending on the spot, I think he's got a 1st down run. Ingram's got good size at 6 foot 200.
Right there to come around with that lead block by number 13 from U-High, Charlie Pettit. And that time Ingram was able to read it, get upfield, get skinny, find that little crease, and got upfield. And the rain is coming down hard right now.
We've got 2 players down. We'll take a minute to tell you that this game is brought to you. Our game tonight brought to you by Coca-Cola. Real magic. By MMR, building on a tradition of success. By Ochsner and the Ochsner Andrews Sports Medicine Institute. And by Louisiana Farm Bureau Federation, the voice of Louisiana agriculture. Not the prettiest night in the capital city. Rain coming down, but, you know, Derry, they talk about the Louisiana football fans and how much it means to them. They're here tonight. They've got their umbrellas up. They're not going anywhere till the clock strikes 0 here at Memorial Stadium. Great to see the fans in attendance cheering on their boys.
And as a football player growing up, this is weather that you want to play in. It's extremely fun. Obviously, you know, growing up in the backyard, you're playing outside in the rain. So obviously experiences as players, this is something that they're going to enjoy. So even though we saw some tough hard hits on that last drive, I continue to expect that to continue throughout this game, especially with this rain coming down.
I'm sure there's a music director seeing those instruments in the rain that's gritting his teeth somewhere, but good to see the Cub band in attendance tonight. They have been loud and proud cheering on U-High. Player down is Jarvis Brookshire, a senior lineman for the Cubs, 6'2", 270. He has not popped up yet.
Looks like they were stretching him out, got some cramps. It's kind of a humid night for October. You were talking about it, Garrett, before the games on down the field and how hot it was. So make sure those guys get some fluid in them, and hopefully Big Jarvis can get back in the game and finish it.
That is their starting center. Madison Prep, of course, without theirs. Jamiris Allen, who left earlier with concussion symptoms. We hope that young man is okay. So we will have, at least momentarily, a new man snapping the ball for U-High. First and 10 after that run by Ingram. Tries to turn the right corner. Stays on his feet. He's over the 20. We can go down back to Steve Schneider for a thought on Sage Ingram.
Is starting to take its toll. A lot of these guys are cramping up. We expected that. You don't really expect to see it when it's a driving downpour, but that's what we're seeing. As far as Sage Ingram, the story on him is he was on Madison Prep's roster, an underclassman who could have been a backup to their star running back. But since he wasn't going to get the start, he comes to U-High. So imagine his attitude when they got him a starting position in this game, and now in the fourth quarter, late third quarter, about to be the fourth quarter, they're giving him the football to make some plays against his former team. He is going to be a highly motivated young man the rest of the way.
Absolutely, no doubt about that. Ingram with a couple of touchdowns rushing on the season. Over 400 yards on his ledger. He's in the backfield with Picarella now. Here's a handoff to Corbin Odell. Big tackle for loss by Madison Prep, but it might be for naught as a flag comes in late. Calvin Spears, number 8. I don't know if it's going to be a horse collar, but that looks like the initial call. Face mask could be the opportunity too. That was a great tackle for loss.
It was. Calvin Spears did a good job of getting off the block, of making a play. From my viewpoint, it looked like a great play, but don't know if he got the horse collar or face mask.
Spears, after making the tackle, still down. Let's take a closer look, top of your screen.
So right, they do the sweep off the edge. Calvin Spears does a great job getting the feel. I don't know. Obviously, I know he got his hands around his neck, but usually a horse collar is like a pull down from one arm. He had two arms wrapped around him, so I'm not quite sure about that call. Get a better look right here.
You know, he makes contact around the collarbone. I think there's incidental contact with the face mask. I don't think anything malicious there to bring down Corbin Odell. So, but the safety of our players is paramount, and that'll end up being a first down. Ball should move up to about the 30-yard line as they're still working on Calvin Spears.
Probably a good point, especially for the safety for the players. I think what they're trying to do, they're trying to eliminate any tackling around the head neck area. So obviously in the midst of a battle like that, you're not really thinking, you're trying to make a tackle and make a play, and it wasn't something that he wanted to do on purpose and tackle a guy around the neck. He was trying to make a play. So obviously that's something, hopefully he's okay, he get back in this football game and continue to make big plays.
Madison Prep only had 2 penalties in the first 2 quarters. They've got 5 penalties for 50 yards here in the second half. Let's go back down to Steve.
Well, you just saw Landry Williams get his guy up. He's not real patient with players who lay around. Sure, they're hurt, but they're not injured to the point that they can't return. He has been very excited about a couple of calls. That big hit on his quarterback last time, he was asking for a head-to-head contact, and this one, he didn't think the call was a face mask or a horse collar.
High snap to Odell. He's up to the 40-yard line. And that should be enough to move the chains for U-High. Still trailing by 8.
Great job by Picarella. Hold on to that football. It's a high snap. Odell does a great job of spinning, breaking the tackle, and picking up positive yards for the U-High offense.
That'll be the end of the third quarter. Put the 4s up. We've got a good one brewing here at Memorial Stadium. As the rain falls, Madison Prep hanging on to their 14-6 lead over U-High here on the LHSAA Network Game of the Week.
If you want to break the rock, you need to make yourself indestructible. If you want to play between the hedges, you need to work out there, up there, down there, everywhere. If you want to reach the win bar, you need to lose sleep, lose count. You need to play every game like you got nothing to lose.
For over 100 years, our families have gathered together to share with each other our challenges and hopes, to take this light we've been gifted and paint a brighter future for the next generation. The seeds we plant today are the bounty we harvest tomorrow. As farmers, we know that together we're stronger than we could ever be apart. We're the Louisiana Farm Bureau, and we're the voice of Louisiana agriculture.
So it's going to come.
Welcome back inside Game of the Week. U-High trailing Madison Prep 14-6. A little upset potentially brewing. The Cubs have the ball here, trailing by 8 to start our fourth quarter. Derry, the rain that's been falling for a steady 2.5, 3 quarters now. Ball security is going to be paramount here.
It is, and as you run it back, you want to make sure you keep 2 hands on the football and not try to do too much, but still run hard and play physical.
Tackle in the backfield by Madison Prep, and coming out of the timeout, they're fired up. Victor Hollins. He's got 11 tackles for loss on the year now.
Victor Hollins that time gets great penetration, gets upfield, slams the running back into the backfield. At the end of the third quarter, U-High was having some success running the football. Madison Prep had 2 high safeties. Anytime you have 2 high safeties, they let you know that they don't have an extra guy in the box. This time, Madison Prep is only going with 1 high safety, putting an extra guy in the box to make sure they slow down his run game.
Hollins, the big nose guard, slipped the tackle and got the, ooh boy. Picarella dropped that ball and it bounced right back up to him. He bulldozes his way forward to the 40, and I think he got the first down. How fortunate here with the wet field.
Right here, Madison Prep brings a blitz. Picarella drops the ball. It goes right back into his hands, makes a few tackles, bounces off of some defenders and picks up a first down.
Player for Madison Prep is down and looks to be in some pain. Hopefully it's just cramps. We had a trivia question earlier in the third quarter. Now we will pay it off. Again, what championship event took place at Memorial Stadium back in 1970? One final guess?
Man, I don't know.
Let's take a look. Look at this. It was the World Championship Water Ski Show back in 1970. Derry, they flooded this and put 3 million gallons of water with a dam at the north end and held the ski show. Look at those 2 ramps. I mean, if the boat's going too fast, you're in the end zone. What were they doing? North Baton Rouge had never seen something like this. This is crazy.
How did y'all find this?
Credit Eric Held, one of the assistant executive directors with the LHSAA.
That is awesome.
Can you imagine that? 5-6 feet underwater and ski boats going around.
In North Baton Rouge. What if the water would just float over into the interstate?
I mean, the stadium's 20, 30 years old at that point. It probably wasn't good for it. One other thing that has happened at this stadium, and everybody knows LSU's Billy Cannon for his Hall of Fame Halloween night run for the Tigers in '59. This is 70 years ago at Memorial Stadium this week. Billy Cannon for Estruma taking on Catholic High. Cannon races 85 yards 70 years ago this week. He's 17 years old there. He'll win the Heisman in 5 years.
That's pretty
unbelievable footage that we got. Estruma ended up winning that game. A year later, they were state champs. But Billy Cannon, a Baton Rouge legend, and it happened right here at Memorial.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Great job of finding that footage.
Did you have interactions with Billy Cannon when you were a Tiger? You ever?
I've never had the opportunity to meet him. I met his daughter on a couple of occasions. Always been extremely courteous, but never got a chance to meet Billy Cannon. I do know for his time he was a big running back. I say he's like 6 foot 6'1", 215, 220 pounds. They can run.
One of 2 high school players from Louisiana who won a Heisman. The other one won it before him at Texas A&M. Here's a throw down the middle to Zay Martin. Big catch in coverage. That'll move the sticks. Picarella out of the long timeout connects with his receiver Martin on a 30-yard hookup.
Well, we've been talking about it all game long. Zay Martin has been kind of quiet. And that time they find him in that slot route, slot position. Just runs a seam up the field, beats the cover 2, called the cover 2 beater, runs a seam up the field and able to get up in the air, grab the football, and hold on to it.
Jacaleb Matthews with the tackle. 1st and 10, the ball's on the deck. We mentioned that both teams were playing with a second string center. We've seen some snaps that were a little off tonight.
Again, you just don't have the mesh point in the practice, and so right here looks like it just rolled on the football. The ball just rolled on the ground. He never got that ball off the ground.
And it's good to see that is Jarvis Brookshire back in the ball game, the senior starter for the Cubs.
And we talked about holding on to the football in this rain. Defensively, you want to make sure that you wrap up the tackle because sometimes the offensive players get real slippery with this rain. So you want to do a good job of wrapping up and driving the offensive player into the ground.
2nd down and 12. Picarella's got some pressure. Runs a circle route. Gets it away. He'll take a big hit. This one intended for Musgrove, but it finishes short. That'll fire Picarella up a little bit. He's going to stay in the ball game after that target.
I've been really impressed with the middle linebacker from Madison Prep tonight, Jonathan Gayton. He's been all over the field tonight, blitzing, stopping the run, and pass coverage, whether it's man pass coverage or zone pass coverage. Obviously, we've talked a lot about Alec Haynes, the linebacker for U-High, but Gayton from Madison Prep has held his own tonight.
They're making a couple defensive substitutions. We'll call a timeout and take it with Madison Prep. Back after this. We're back on the field. As the rain falls, they uncover the pigskin, and U-High on 3rd down and 12, back out on the field. Corbin Odell in motion to the short side of the field. Picarella, quick little pass to Martin, and they'll finally bring him down at the 40-yard line. You had all wide receivers bunched up at the top of the field. You sent Odell up there as well, and Martin can't get any traction.
Jonathan Gayton again from the linebacker position. On the slip screen, gets upfield, makes a play, waits his cavalry, gets there, and they make the tackle. Jonathan Gayton, the linebacker from Madison Prep, has been all over the football field tonight.
4th and 18 coming up for the Cubs. Matthew Melanson, the junior kicker, on the punt. Landon Johnson, number 17, going to be back deep, potentially to take this punt. We've seen a couple of fake attempts tonight by U-High. They will not gamble here. This was going to be all the way to the 5-yard line. Inside the 5, where Madison Prep will take over. 8:41 remaining. They'll have the ball and the lead. Hey, check out the newest episodes of Power Hour. Tuesday nights at 7 p.m. on the LHSAA network. Power Hour is an in-depth look at influential figures in high school sports in Louisiana. The show dives deep into the careers and moments of each guest as we feature those who've been the pillars in the Louisiana high school landscape. Jeff Jones, basketball soon-to-be Hall of Fame coach for Madison Prep, will air tonight at 11 o'clock. So all of our Madison Prep fans who are tuned in now, check out Jeff Jones's Power Hour at 11 tonight, all on the app. Quick pass up to about the 10-yard line goes Keon Robinson. Robinson with over 40 catches and approaching 900 yards receiving on the year. He's caught 9 touchdown passes from Tylen Johnson. This is just the second possession in the second half for Madison Prep. U-High has done a good job of holding on to the ball.
If I'm Madison Prep again, it's do what you've been doing all game long. Control the line of scrimmage, run the football. And if I'm U-High, they haven't done a great job of just playing straight up base defense. I'm doing some stunts on some type of run blitzes to slow down this run game.
2nd and 3 from the 11. And that play did not materialize like they wanted. I think they're short of the first down. Alfred McKnight, who's well over 100 yards with 2 touchdowns on the evening, is going to make it 3rd and short.
And that time, U-High snuck a linebacker right at the snap into the 8 gap to kind of fill that hole and stuff their running attack from Madison Prep.
Amarin Sanders, number 18, in motion. He'll go to the top of the screen now. Big fullback in the backfield. Running behind their blocker to get the down, and flags fly as McKnight carries. That's Aiden Dennett, who was running interference as the halfback. We'll see what the flag is. Shot block's going to be called. We don't see too many of those. It's going to go against the Cubs, and it'll be a first down coming up for Madison Prep.
Anytime you see that it's happening somewhere of the interior, the D linemen maybe have attacked the knees of the offensive lineman, and obviously you can't do that. Probably did a high-low.
I don't know why. Whenever I think of chop blocks, I think of Glenn Dorsey against Auburn in 2007, that lineman that just kind of dove into his knee.
Yeah, they did. Right here, I can't really see from this angle what happened. Looks like they got 21 Upton for diving in at the knees for the tackle.
McKnight over the 30, running hard, and right now the clock is an enemy of U-High. The Cubs trailing by 8.
Auburn probably had some of the dirtiest offensive linemen that you can possibly imagine back in those days, and obviously I'll say I was at the game. I was right behind Glenn Dorsey when it happened, when he got high-low. But there were some of the meanest, nastiest linemen that we ever went against at Auburn University.
I remember doing interviews with the guys after games. They always said the next week, we hurt pretty good after playing Auburn. That was always a physical game. 2 wide, top of your screen. In the backfield is Anderson this time for a change of pace. He runs to the right end and is brought down. U-High still has 3 timeouts remaining. There's Mark Acosta.
That was a good play that time by Mark Acosta. He was actually blocked on the ground, was able to get back up, catch his feet, and make that play.
Tylen Johnson on the last drive had them on the field for 6 minutes, 50 seconds. They lost the ball just in front of the goal line. He'll pass here and move the chains. A quick pass to Keon Robinson. Can they dial up another long drive and take the air out of U-High?
That was an easy pass to catch that time off the RPO. For some reason, U-High has a safety plan extremely deep, and he's nowhere near that slot receiver. So what they did, you don't want to cover him, just drop the ball off to the slot and pick up an easy first down.
Nice job by Johnson to recognize the senior with Anderson still in the backfield.
See how the safety playing deep, they're afraid of getting beat over the top. That's why he's playing so deep. But if he doesn't, they can just dump it off to him.
That's Ewing. Anderson picks up 2 yards the hard way as we're about to tick under 5 minutes remaining.
See big Lamar Brown there, the right tackle for U-High does not want to come out the game. Trying to play both ways tonight. He understands the significance of this drive with 4 minutes left. And again, he wants his district title and see if he can bring it back home to U-High. He's doing everything possible to try to keep his football team in this game.
Offensive line trying to get some push here for Madison Prep. Alfred McKnight, he's over the 45-yard line.
Right here, Alfred McKnight, again, breaks 1 tackle, picks up some positive yards, nice physical run. Let's see what they do in this 3rd and short situation. Do they get the ball in space when they slot receivers, or they keep the ball in Tyler Johnson's hands and let him make a play?
Now 4 minutes remaining in our ball game. U-High's only loss of the season came in week 2 against Archbishop Rummel by a score of 13-7. 3rd and 7. McKnight's going to be stopped just shy. And that's a huge defensive play for the Cubs. They need to dial up 1 more.
Ryan McKnight, I think he missed a cut. If he would have cut back to the right, he probably would have picked up that first down. But great job of UI defense taking care of the front side. So I think if he'd have made that cut, the backside defense was wide open. He was able to pick up that first down. But obviously, you have to go for this on 4th and short.
Fourth down and 1. No look for the safeties here. The Cubs are coming. Johnson evades the rush. He's got room to run. Johnson around left end. Stays inbounds. The clock will run and the chains will move. That was a veteran move, Derry.
It was, and for U-High, just not a smart play defense. Just not a smart play defensively. You have all the pressure coming from the inside, and obviously Tyler Johnson can hurt you on the outside, and he does a great job of getting to the edge and picking up a key first down.
Tylen Johnson, 5'11", 190, came in with 20 passing touchdowns and 4 rushing. Big plays tonight have kept them in this ball game.
He's done it with his feet. He's done it with his legs. He's done it with his leadership. I've been extremely impressed from Tylen Johnson and what he's brought to the table tonight. You can understand the moment for him and how bad he wants to bring this district title back to Madison Prep.
Under 3 minutes remaining now, and a timeout called by Coach Martin of U-High, their first. Clock's still running here at the stadium. I'm sure the officials will put time back on it. But how about Tylen Johnson and the Chargers against the state's number 2 ranked team in the power rankings? Madison Prep is no slouch. They're number 6.
And I'll go back to that last play when he picked up the first down. That's what we talk about being a 4-year starter. He saw that they had 0 coverage and 0 blitz. Now, at that point, they can either drop in coverage or they all coming. If he saw both those linebackers in the A-gap, he knew that the outside was going to be free, and that's where he took advantage of it.
Let's see what worked for him on 4th down.
So right, you see the 2 linebackers in the A-gap. He knows nobody's on the outside, and Tylen Johnson believes he could beat one man one-on-one, and that's what he did, used his feet and got to the outside and picked up a key first down.
Working with the trainer right now as the rain may be falling as hard as it has all night, and that is his throwing hand in the timeout that U-High called, being tended to by the trainer. Last year, this game was not really competitive. U-High had a big win against the Chargers, but In 2022, Madison Prep came away with the win in the district title. Both these teams fighting back and forth over the years. They know each other well. This is a pretty good little rivalry.
It is. Last year, U-High got the better of them last year, and I think that loss is still stinging with them. They played in the same stadium last year, and U-High kind of took it to them.
43-7.
They were the more physical team. They were the ones that came out, established line of scrimmage, and I think Madison Prep remembered that game from last year and wanted to come out and set a tone tonight.
Coach Landry Williams and the Chargers on the verge of going 5-0 in district play. Flags fly, though. Our referee, Adrian Daigle. So a substitution infraction on Madison Prep. It's 2nd down and 8.
It's difficult to have a legal substitution after the timeout, especially when we have time to talk things over. So that's something that Coach Landry, I know he's a stickler for playing the right way and being disciplined. So that's something that you don't want to happen, especially at this point in the game. Crucial penalty.
Jeremiah Anderson in the backfield. 2 wide receiver set. Max protect. Like a rocket out of a cannon. Unbelievable. Alec Haynes with the tackle for loss. Timeout, U-High. They had to have it, and Haynes delivered.
Again, that time Alec Haynes, and they did a great job with Alex Haynes on the run blitz. He gets into the backfield and try to slow down his run. Right here makes an outstanding play. Outstanding prospect. We've seen a lot of great players tonight and great plays from these athletes. No matter who wins this football game tonight, it's no losers because these guys have really came out and put on a show for the crowd, put on a show for Thursday night football, and they're doing an outstanding job, and incredible athletes all across the field. So kudos to all these student athletes on both sides of the ball.
Next week, U-High will play Port Allen, and Madison Prep will play Helix Mentorship. Our game of the week next week will be at Zachary as the Broncos take on the Catholic High Bears for first place and a district title in 5A. Thursday night, November 7th, 7 p.m. Join us. Should be an awesome showing at Coach Brewerton's place. The rain coming down as hard as we've seen it all night. Madison Prep on 3rd and 19 will probably run the ball again as the clock is their friend. That's McKnight in the backfield now. Kept by Johnson. Now he reverses course and will be brought down. A tackle from behind by Barton Phillips. And U-High will use their final timeout.
That time U-High showed pressure in those A-gap zero blitz, but they dropped back in coverage on the snap of the football. And now Madison Prep has a decision to make. Obviously, I wouldn't go for it. I wouldn't go for it. I'll punt this football and see if you can pin U-High deep and if they can drive the length of the field because they struggled tonight. Obviously, they only have 6 points, so your defense has done an outstanding job. So let your defense finish the game the right way.
I was going to ask, with some of the errant snaps and the rain, would you go for it on 4th down? You see the water coming down the stadium, just so that you don't potentially lose a kick.
No, because your defense is playing so well, and if you don't make it, you give U-High a short field to make things happen with 2 minutes and 40 seconds left. What you're doing right now is telling your center, make sure you get the snap. No matter, you don't even have to punt the ball like super deep, but just control the ball, get a nice little kick, and make sure that you get U-High to drive the length of this football field. But no, I wouldn't go for it. You want to make sure get your defense on the field and let them finish this football game.
On 4th and 16, Calvin Spears, we'll have a different punter this time for Madison Prep. Gets it down inside the 20. That was Andre Gibson. So U-High has a tall order in front of them. The senior, Emil Picarella, will try and drive them 80 yards to tie our ball game up. U High out of timeouts. Madison Prep 2 minutes and 32 seconds away from taking a district title off the hands of U High.
U High's in a difficult position because they have to throw the football and it's raining. So for Madison Prep, defensively, you are at an advantage right now.
This one to Corbin Odell. Odell gets out of bounds. We'll see if he stepped out prior to the first down, and he did. He's 2 yards shy of the marker. Well, you know it's raining hard when you can see it in every single camera. Special shout out to all of our camera crew tonight working out in the elements for the LHSAA Network Game of the Week. We appreciate you guys.
Big penalty that time for U High on first down. Holding call. It's going to set them back 10 yards.
That play only took 8 seconds off the clock. You can see a small river coming down the steps at the top of your screen. If this goes on, we're going to have another ski boat championship at Memorial Stadium. And you're driving.
No, I'm not either.
Shout out to all the Madison Prep fans who have weathered the storm here on Halloween night. Picarella in the shotgun. 4 wide set. He's got some good pass blocking. Rolls out, goes to the near sideline and just throws it away. Landry Williams' defense tonight has been very good in coverage. As much time as Picarella's had to throw, he's not had a lot of open receivers.
Yeah, they did an outstanding job on the back end, from their corners to their safety. They're playing sound football as well. It's extremely difficult when a quarterback breaks pocket. Sometimes you have tendencies as a DB to get your eyes in the backfield, but they kept their eyes locked on their man and kept their eyes locked in the zone where they're supposed to be.
2nd and 10. Emil reverses course, throws it past the line of scrimmage, and won't be called for grounding. He took a pretty sharp hit, though. The incomplete pass stops the clock at 2:08. That's not the first hard hit that Picarella has kept tonight.
And one thing this Madison Prep defense is doing, usually when you get to 2 minutes, you want to try to play a prevent or a safe defense. They're not doing that. Obviously, being pressure off the edge to kind of get Picarella discombobulated, and didn't have anywhere to go with the football, and they come up with another stop and a big hit on them as well.
Victor Hollins flushed him out of the pocket. Calvin Spears with the big hit. Whistles blow right before the ball is snapped. Potentially a timeout called by Madison Prep. Don't see a flag on the field, and it is a timeout for the Chargers and Coach Williams. I'll tell you what, in just 15 short years, Madison Prep's graduated some impressive names. Malcolm Roach, All-State 4 years, played for Texas, and then he spent 5 seasons in the NFL. He's currently with the Broncos and just signed a 2-year contract. You remember Jarrell Martin at LSU. He's a McDonald's All-American here. And a first-team All-SEC forward. Martin drafted in the first round by the Grizzlies. He's still hooping. So's Brandon Sampson, the former Mr. Basketball in Louisiana. He played in the NBA with Chicago. Madison Prep, in a very short time, has put some big-name players in the NBA and the NFL. Wow, look at that. Halloween night here at Memorial Stadium. A little over 2 minutes remaining. U High has to go 81 yards to try and tie this up. Odell in the backfield this time. That's Kimmy at the bottom of your screen, 81. Picarella, indecisive. Gets this one away, and it's caught. That's Kimmy. Kimmy still on his feet at midfield. He doesn't want to lose this ball game. They still haven't stopped his forward momentum. About a 45-yard catch and run by Ethan Kimmy, the sophomore.
Good job that time by Picarello, keeping his eyes down the field, and the big receiver, sophomore receiver right there, Ethan Kimmy, keeps his eyes down the field, and that's a big hit right there that Picarello takes.
Ball now on the 39. Picarella's got time and throws it away. So that'll stop the clock at 1:37, and a much better situation for U High here now on Madison Prep's side of the field.
Madison Prep had what they wanted. They just let we talked about their eye discipline on the back end has been good all night long, especially when Picarella breaks the pocket. That time, they let the eyes get in the backfield, didn't keep it on the receiver, and Kimmy was able to break free and pick up a big first down.
Emil Picarella, 9 of 20 passing on the night for 91 yards. Zay Martin at the bottom of your screen. Here comes the blitz, and it's handled by the offensive line. Picarella goes the distance to Martin, and that ball is caught, but out of bounds. What an impressive showing by Javen Holmes. He was 1 foot from being in bounds from winning this ball game with that INT.
And Javen Holmes is an impressive safety. From go to hash like that, make a play on the ball. And
so close.
Almost. If you got 1 foot in, that would have been ball game. Great effort that time by Javen Holmes.
It looked like the right toe of his cleat was making contact with the line as he reeled that in. Tylen Johnson, what a night for the senior quarterback for the Chargers. They are in position to go 5-0 in district play with a win. Martin might have heard footsteps. That's in and out of his hands. 4th down coming up for the Cubs. You can't go crazy here, right? You can't just do an all-out blitz and just try and get to Picarella.
Not an all-out blitz, but I'm bringing pressure. I think they had success tonight bringing pressure and making Picarella kind of pick and choose on what he wants to do. They've been playing well in the back game. Besides that last play to Kimmy, it's the only time I saw the defensive back get their eyes in the backfield. So I'm bringing pressure. You don't want to make him comfortable to sit back there and give him time.
4th and 10 for the Cubs. The line to gain is the 29. Picarella's got time. Throws to the near flat. Coming back for it is Martin, and he makes the catch. They'll say that one popped out after he went out of bounds. That was in front of Madison's sideline, too. We might have to take a closer look at that one.
So right here, they just throw a simple 9 route to Zay Martin. Controls it, and let's see right here, gets both feet in, and
the ball doesn't pop out until his whole body's on the ground for a second.
And his whole body's out of bounds as well when the ball popped out. So a big time catch from Zay Martin. We were talking about him getting him involved, and that's what happened. Big time players make big time plays at the end of the game.
Zay Martin. This guy's an unbelievable wide receiver, and he's had a good game. If you're a Cubs fan, the Southeastern commit probably could have gotten a couple more targets.
He's an incredible slot receiver, has great quickness off the line of scrimmage. He's a mismatch problem. You can't put a linebacker on him. You can't put a safety on him. So he gives defensive fits, and also he's a dynamic in the return game as well. He comes up with a big play that time on 4th down.
There's Coach Martin, his team trailing by 8 with 1:14 to play. They got an awesome catch by Martin on 4th down to continue this drive. Three wide, top of your screen. Picarella looks pretty calm out there on 1st and 10 from the 19-yard line. There's the snap. Wide receivers take off. Picarella facing some pressure. He'll throw it away. Veteran move, but now they're down to 2nd.
Right there, they're able to get pressure just with their 4th down lineman on Picarella, able to drop in coverage. So let's see if they kind of switch things up right here. It looks like sometimes they're playing just straight up base defense, sometimes they're bringing pressure. So let's see how they mix it up on this play.
Picarella from the 19, rolls out to the right, loses his feet. 1 minute remaining, and now U High has got to have some urgency in their game. 3rd down and 10, down to their final 2 downs. You would assume a passing play here. If they don't catch it, it'll move the clock. Stop the clock. Lost as much as 25 seconds there. Picarella keeps his feet on the fumbled snap, and he'll be brought down. They have got to get back to the line for 4th down, or Madison Prep's going to win this ball game. No chance to clock it.
Probably going to be the final play. Looks like they're going to try to take a shot to the end zone. If I'm Madison Prep, I'm getting to the end zone.
The final play of our ball game. Picarella to the goal line. It's intercepted! Madison Prep 5-0 in district play under Coach Landry Williams. They're going to win it 14-6. Jeremiah. Joshua Hebert comes away with the interception. Here's our second look.
Good job that time by Joshua Hebert. He comes off his defender right there on the outside, cuts underneath, and makes a play. Outstanding play from the DB, Joshua Hebert right there. Comes off his man number 81, Kimmy, to make that play. Great read, great hands. Ball game, Madison Prep, district champs.
Ball intended for Zay Martin. And a great job jumping in front of that one. Coach Williams needs his team to actually bulldoze forward. Well, they don't have to. They could take a safety here with 2 seconds remaining. But you'd like to see him push forward and down this one on the field of play. What a fantastic defensive showing tonight to hold U-High to just 6 points, 1 touchdown. The Chargers poised to win 6 in a row.
Had a great plan tonight defensively against Emil Picarillo. If I'm Landry Williams, I'm extremely proud of this team, extremely proud of the effort, and extremely proud of their preparation all week long.
Madison Prep 14, U-High 6. The 6th-ranked Chargers upset the 2nd-ranked Cubs. Landry Williams' squad has now won 6 in a row in the back half of our season.
You can tell the excitement on the Madison Prep players on how much this game meant to them. And they came out and played like this game meant a lot to them. Had a lot of guys going both ways. And Madison Prep has a good football team. They're going to make a lot of noise heading to the playoffs. So I expect them to be competing for a state championship.
Their first 2 offensive possessions came away with nothing. Finally, Alfred McKnight scores a couple of touchdowns, and then neither team found the end zone in the second half.
Defensively, it was a great game. Being a defensive guy, I was in heaven tonight. Just watching the schemes, watching the way they mixed up coverages, watch when they blitz one down, then blitz another down. So they kept this, Madison Prep kept this U-High offense on their heels all night long.
There's a happy Charger coach right there. Landry Williams' squad now firmly in control of district with a 5-0 record. They have now beaten U-High for the 2nd time in 3 years. Let's take a look at our final stats from tonight's broadcast.
Again, the big thing that jumped out to me is 250 rushing yards. Anytime you can almost double the rushing yards for the other team, more than likely you're probably going to win this football game. And then they outgained them in total yards for 304. They won a turnover battle. So if you win the rushing game and you win the turnover battle, you're probably going to win the football game.
Madison Prep had just 2 penalties in the first half, 6 in the second, but still managed to come away with the win. The defense held, and they improved to 6-3 on the year and 5-0 in district play. Thanks for joining us for tonight's LHSAA Network Game of the Week. Join us next week in Zachary as the Broncos take on the Catholic High Bears, a pair of 6-1 teams. Tylen Johnson, the senior quarterback, comes away and leads his team to victory on a Halloween night here at Memorial Stadium. For Derry Beckwith and Steve Schneider, I'm Garrett Walber. This has been a production of the LHSAA.